Welcome to DoorDash Drivers Live. I'm your host, Mr.BetonYou. You can call me Poppy if you want tonight. This is my new Sunday hoodie. If you know, you know. Hope you guys are doing well. This week's been interesting, man. And I'm so happy that I feel better. I'm about 95%. The last few days, man, whoa, once I hit Wednesday, it was crazy. I went back. I didn't work Wednesday. I didn't work Thursday. So I worked Monday this week. I worked Tuesday this week. Wednesday and Thursday, sick as a dog. I got something that's going around. Went out for about 4 hours on Friday. And I was like, nah, I ain't feeling this. Went home. I was in bed, basically. Friday from like 5 or 6 p.m. till last night. Started feeling better last night. Woke up today, feeling all right. Did some things. It's like, I feel good enough to do this show, and I'm happy to do this show. We have some special guests planned. We have some interesting topics, conversation topics that are going to tickle your brain cells a little bit. I'm hoping to have other people join us, and I know organically we will, that are going to have shared experiences, maybe ask questions. You know, these topics tonight aren't in a way to, I guess in a way they're to challenge the community a little bit in a positive way and shed light on some things that not enough of us talk about. Like, we talk about DoorDash and money and tips and tricks and these programs, and we might get into some of the program stuff and how it relates to how it makes us feel. But this topic was brought to me by my friend Marcus. Marcus is somebody that some of you guys know. He's been on other shows, Roy's channel. I've seen him over on Flexes a lot. And Marcus is somebody that I've met twice in real life. I've hugged the man. I've shaken his hand. We talk on the phone, not about the gig economy. We talk about other things, life, fatherhood, things that are more important than making money. And we've been doing that recently for the last few months. There are a few people that I do that with that I've met through YouTube. So when he came to me about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, about an idea for a show and some things that he's had on his mind and how he's feeling and things that he's seen in the community, we talked for a while. I said, let's do a Sunday show. Let's make it a topic. Let's bring you up and let's talk about it with the people. So we're going to bring Marcus up in just a few minutes here. I'll give some shout outs before I get into that. I got a few things I need to go over. I'll tell you who the other special guests is that'll come on right after Marcus, but with Marcus, and then we're going to open up the StreamYard link. Tonight's going to be a good night. I like doing these kind of shows because I think a lot of you guys come here many of you guys come here for this, or you come here for that, but it is a good place to come to get stuff that is gig centric, but it's not all about the gig economy. I could make a video every week about no tip, no trip, and some people would watch and it'd be fine. Or about the programs, or how DoorDash is the worst, and we do legislation. We talk about this and we talk about that. Let's make $1,000. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's. Those videos are fine. They still are justified within this space. But every once in a while, we got to take a step back, get in a different seat, and talk about some real shit. And we're going to do that tonight. So if you look at the description box or the description of the video, you'll notice, are DoorDashers ready for what's coming next? What does that mean, Pedro? It's really vague. I did it on purpose, wanting to catch your eyeballs, okay? All I ask for you guys to do tonight, hit the thumbs up, share the content, so we could have these gentlemen's voices heard, ladies that want to join us, whoever, okay? So I think it's going to be impactful. A lot of us, when we go to YouTube, and you type in DoorDash, how to make money, or you type in a program, or you type in Top Dasher, or you type in tier program, you type in legislation, people are typing in trying to figure out what's going on in Minnesota with the Uber Lyft going, Uber and Lyft are leaving Minnesota May 1st or something like that. You're going to get a lot of videos, and those videos are cool and they're great and they're fine. Most of what you're going to get is going to be how to make money, how to make this amount of money per day, per week, per month, per year, how to make money, how to navigate the systems. That's great. I got 1,000 of those videos, literally, probably, right? Nothing wrong with that, value in that. But do we ever talk about what's really going on up here, how these apps can play us? Are DoorDashers ready if the apps are taken away, if something happens? I talked to another friend today. I will not share his name, her name, doesn't matter, right? They've had some things going on and real life stuff, and I haven't talked to them in several months, and we talked today for about an hour, and it was great. But they've had real life things happen to them because of the gig economy. We see drivers getting into accidents. We see drivers have safety issues. Now, it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens enough. And if you're doing this work enough, it's going to happen to you at some point. I always say, knock on wood, I feel very lucky I haven't had something I've been rear-ended once, okay? But like I haven't had any, I've had some crazy situations, but I'm still here. Like my health is intact. I'm good. My body's good. I still make money. I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones. I think a lot of people, things happen to them, hardships. They lose their job. They get a car. They lose their car. They don't have enough money to fix the car. They get hit. They have a wrongful deactivation. They're burned out. They work all these hours. They get divorced. Like, these are real life things. They lose relationships. They're not spending time with their kids. Their mental is fucked. Their physical is crappy. I know I see a lot of DoorDash drivers. Man, they're out of shape, bro. Ladies, some of y'all are out of shape, right? Like, and when you're in your car and you're doing this and you're chasing that money, right? We sometimes forget about the future, the long things. Are we set up? Do I have insurance? Do I have proper things in place to be okay? That's some of the things we're going to talk about. That's my monologue. I'm going to kick it to my guest here in just a moment. I will be giving some shout outs before we do that, okay? This week's been interesting, man. Like I said, I'm feeling better. I was sick. We will not have, because I know some of you guys, I like to tack things head on. No Jumper TV will not be here tonight. This was not the Sunday I invited him. He didn't say he was showing up here. If you're here for that, you can kindly leave if that's the only reason you're here, because tonight is not that night. So I want to be very transparent. I don't want to keep the people that are here for that kind of drama. I don't want to keep them waiting, because that's not what this week is about, just up front. Now, let's see who's in the building. Cheeky Chops, Josh, Ghost, Kevin, Wes, Real Talk with Roy. What's up, man? See you soon. Raised on Scrabble. Gig Wars Officials Red. Daryl, KMG King, Qualia. You know what? I got to stop the shout outs because that just reminded me, and I'm glad I saw her name. Big Carl, what's up? A lot of you guys checked on me this week for various reasons. Obviously, I physically just wasn't feeling good. And I have type 1 diabetes. I shared that with you guys this week. I've talked about it before. I'm a pretty healthy dude considering that. Type 1 diabetes is a chronic illness. 10% of people that have diabetes, and diabetes is like the #1 issue in America when it comes to health for the average American. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but it's a big, big, big deal. Only 10% of people that have diabetes have what I have. So it's on a rare end. And it's a chronic illness I live with every single day. So when I get sick, it's like I got sick twice as hard as a regular person. So if I get a cold, a flu, so I fight through a lot, but like when it hits me, man, it's twice as bad than if somebody else gets it. It just is. It's bad. So I've been battling that. So I say that because I've had a lot of great people checking on me this week, making sure if I'm good, and I've connected with some people I ain't talked to in a while. And it's been a really good week. And it reminds me, the reason we do these shows on Sunday is because it's the end of the week and we're starting a new week. For some people, this is the first day of the week. For others, it's the last day of the week. And I feel great the way this week has gone. I've learned some things. I feel better than I did today, than I did yesterday, or the day before, the day before, the day before. And I always have that mentality. I always have that mindset. I just do. So it reminds me that I have a lot more people that love and support this channel, that care about this channel, that rock with me than I do haters. And I have to even remind myself that sometimes. And I get lost in the bullshit at moments. I'm a man. I'm flawed. I'm human. I get lost in it, right? And this week it reminded me. And I've dealt with a lot of stuff on YouTube, and some of that stuff is on me, right? But it reminds me, I got so much goddamn love on YouTube, man. It's good. And I feel great about that. And I'm excited to get back to work tomorrow, and excited to hit the streets, excited to make that money, excited to give you guys content, all that good stuff. All right, I'm way overdue. Let me bring my guest in. I'm going to pass the show over to, we're going to bring Marcus up. And then I got another guest, which I won't name yet, that's going to come in a little after that to add some flavor to the conversation. Appreciate all y'all for being here. Definitely hit the thumbs up. Let's go. Now, who is this dude we have with us right here? What's up, Marcus?
Good, baby. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Hey, first off, Thanks for this topic. Thanks for the conversation we had last week. Thanks for spending time with us tonight.
Absolutely.
Thanks for checking in this week. All that stuff. I really appreciate you, man. For those people, I know you've been on the show a few times. You've been to other places. For those people that don't know you, introduce yourself. What are you about? What do you do? Just give us a little background on Marcus real quick when it comes to how you make it happen, man.
Oh, well, most of y'all know me from little negative fighting with Flex, trolling Flex, fighting with Dino. But tonight I came over here, rap my man Pedro because I too do this gig thing. And I know a lot of times we lose sight of that. We only think about like Trader and you, Pedro, and other gig workers, gig gal in the chat. She from where I'm from, and a lot of it for me is like we get so caught up in just this DoorDash stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I do DoorDash. I do Spark, Uber, but also got a W-2. And, I found you online. Like I say, man, learn how to do DoorDash like everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, this DoorDash thing. I told you the story. We ain't got to get into that, but you know how I got into this DoorDash thing.
Yeah.
Had a little incident or whatever, which kind of brings us to the point we're talking about now.
Yeah.
But like I say, tonight I came on here because something was on my mind, bro. And it's weird. Sup, Ceci, how you doing, man? I realized, bro, that there's a lot of things that I'm not focused on in my life. And it's wild how God works. And, it's funny because I was literally, man, laying on my couch about 4 a.m, bro. I swear to God. And I started noticing, and this might sound weird when I say this, I ain't seen Bud Soda in a while.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah. I told you that. And I jump around. And I was like, damn. I'm like, Bud Soda, he's the king of the multi-app stacker route and all that. And I said, I'm like, how do we know Bud Soda's all right? And again, random thought, bro. I'm telling you, it's the most random stuff in the world. Why am I on my couch at 4 a.m. thinking about Bud Soda? And it was weird because I started in my own life. I said, dude, we out here all day. And I caught a line that you had did. Roy's a big proponent of this about people working 100-hour weeks, all day, 15-hour days. And although I don't do it gig work all day, every day, I'm driving all day.
Yeah.
I wake up at 7 a.m. I take my 2 girls to school. I'm on the road all day from 8 o'clock to about 2. I pick them up. I drive them off. I'm home maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm back on the road again. My W-2, I drive there. And I thought about it. I was like, and again, going back to Bud Soda as an example, I remember when he had a deer.
Yep.
And I said, damn, I never take the time to realize I'm always on the road. And I was like, man, I ain't focused on my children. I ain't focused on my health. And I'm always on the road, man. I got you playing in the background. I got Trader on the phone. I'm laughing at y'all. I'm watching Roy and Flex go back and forth. And I thought to myself, I'm driving. And I found myself on the road, man, tired because, like I said, going back to DoorDash, like you always bring up to the mental health aspect of it. It's like I've been on the road, man, for like peak pay. And Gig Gal can relate because Hustle CLE is where we from.
Mm-hmm.
And my neighboring zone, man, it's always peak pay out there. I'm telling you, it'd be like $4 peak pay, $5.50, crazy. And I've been on the road, man, like I gotta get out here and get this money.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, money's great and money's cool and all, but I put myself in some dangerous situations, man. Like I ain't really told nobody about this stuff, dog. But I've been on the road, bro. I've done it hit people. And we always think about that type of stuff. For me, is always drunk driving or, some type of intoxication. No, I'm sober. But I was so engaged in the phone and the buzzing going off and the peak pay. And I gotta get this money. And I had an incident one day, bro. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I was watching one of your videos, a replay, and I ain't tell you this on the phone. We talked, and I'm sitting there, I'm vibing, and again, I agree with 95% of things you say, but sometimes you might make a point. I'm like, okay, man, that's I don't necessarily agree with that.
That's normal.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Right. And bro, I got so engaged in the conversation that you were having, I went to turn, and there was a guy walking across the street. And bro, when I tell you, I looked up, he was like right in front of my car. I slammed on my brakes. I just stopped. I just pulled up. I stopped. I said, God,
you were distracted.
I was distracted. I was so engaged and worried about when the phone go off. I'm like, oh, 552 miles. Oh, that's trash. Or this and that. Or I'm listening to you. I'm like, man, what the hell Pedro say? That's a BS. Blah blah. Or Trader. You know what I'm saying? He be going back and forth. But his comment section, he's funny. And I was so engaged in the phone. You know, I almost hit somebody, bro. And that right there really told me. I said, you know what? If I was hit this man, I'm so distracted on DoorDash, on YouTube, with you, everybody. But when it came down to that, I said, that's all on me.
It is. But let me ask you this. Do you think sometimes so you have that, and then that can happen to a lot of us? Some of us are more distracted drivers than others. There's a lot of situations. But when we're dealing with a phone and you're looking at it and you're listening to YouTube or you're watching something or you're lighting the smoke or you're looking, you know, like there's so many things that happen in like a 10-second matter of time, right? But do you think also when we couple it with, you know, you're waking up, you're picking the kids up at school or taking the kids to school at 7 a.m., you're going to do some DoorDash and you're going to go to your W-2 and then you're on the road at your W-2. Like sometimes when you couple the distractions with the lack of sleep, right? And the hustle, it's super dangerous, right? And I think our next guest will talk to this point in a very enlightened way, because I've heard him talk about it, right? So we got like, you know, some of these people out here for like long hours, but like, are we prepared? If you hit that person, are you, or I'm talking to the audience as well, are you prepared for what's coming after that, y'all? Are you prepared to be deactivated? Do you have insurance? Do you have a backup plan? Do you have savings in the account? Are you prepared to not work because you're in the hospital for a month?
Right.
Are you prepared if you go to jail for like these are big things that aren't going to happen to every driver. But when you mention that story, I think about that. Like, are our dashers prepared? And my thought process is most of us are not. Now, many of us are, but I think most aren't ready for what we don't know that could happen because we're not thinking about it. Because to your point, we're focused on $5, 1 mile. Oh, should I take it? Should I take it? And we're not thinking about like what's the cost of me being that distracted, that not focused because I'm listening to Pedro on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Let me interject right there though. That's one thing that I've been through so many situations. I didn't think about that because if you go back, most people probably don't know about this, and a lot of y'all probably saw it when I was having my interaction with Dino. I was driving, bro. Like most people don't understand. Like when I was sitting there doing all this and the driver, you know, making fun of him, I was driving. And I sat back in that moment and I thought about it's like all rushed me at one time. I said, dude, you on the road, my man. Like you driving. And I said to myself, we all get mad at Tony's shoe and we joke about it and DoorDash is trash and this and that. But I told myself, I said, bro, if you own the job doing this DoorDash or Instacart or whatever, if I was to hit that man or hit a kid, DoorDash ain't sending no lawyer to my to no courtroom fight for me.
No, they're not.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody, like, I can't call Pedro. Hey, Pedro, man, I was distracted watching your video. I disagree with you, man. You know, I need some money for a lawyer. You know, but I'm like, dog, I don't think about that. And again, I always, not to keep jumping around, but I always think about that when I be watching these YouTube videos. I'm like, getting that bag is cool. Because, you know, shout out my brother Ricky Knight, you know, they got their little thing on their channel. They doing like a 10,000 a month challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I ain't mad. Ain't no shots being fired or nothing. But at the same time, I feel like there's people that may be doing that aren't equipped, like you say, to do that type of schedule. That's like why, you know, he's been doing that as his thing. If he has the ability to stay a long hours and drive longer hours, I don't know how wide he is as far as traffic goes. But I found myself saying, like, dude, you get so caught up in chasing that bag and getting this bread and the peak pay, I gotta get out here. I never sat back and thought to myself, like you say, what would happen if I'm so caught up in trying to get some money and trying to rush around and trying to hurry up. I got to stay out 10 hours because, again, going back to DoorDash being like change the base pay. So people now are going to be out on the road a lot longer. You know, it's like not like the pandemic. You know, you can't make that quick $200 all the time. Look at these split. You out here all day.
Yeah.
Still leave my man, but he be on the road 14 hours sometimes. I be watching his videos. I'm like, damn, dog, you on here 14 hours. Like, damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, and I respect that hustle, man. You know, this ain't about any one person, like you said. And you know, he's one of one. You know what I mean? And he's built his health, lifestyle around his gig work. He's mentioned that, so I feel confident in saying that
sure.
he's built it to be able to do that. But yeah, the regular person,
Right.
I can maybe work those hours in maybe for a week, but I get so burnt out, like it's, we talk about earlier, I think it was Jeff or somebody said, nobody's really prepared if that happens, right? Like if we hit somebody, it's hard to be prepared for those life-changing things. But the kind of work that we do, right?
Mm.
The most dangerous thing that we do, to me, is we drive. It's not
Right.
what neighborhood we go in usually, because that's very situational. You could unassign an order. Driving itself is very dangerous because there's other people on the road and you can't predict what they can do. We put so much trust in a stranger. Think about this for a second, Marcus. You're on a road going 50 miles an hour, right? It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. You're just driving. You're going 50 in the car with no barrier, no median, no nothing. It's going 50 on the other side of you, right?
Yep. Towards
you. You know what I'm saying? So like we put so much trust in that person that they're going to steer straight and that their car's okay and they're not going to blow a tire. Or, it's amazing how much trust we put in thousands of people every single day when we're doing gig work and we're coming in and out of our car, in and out of parking lots. And I mentioned this to you last week. Like, I'm surprised we don't see more bad things happening, more bad stories of people that we know. We're a very small community here on YouTube, but we're a strong community of people. And a lot of us know each other personally or just from the internet. But real quick, before I bring Roy up, I want to mention something that you mentioned. So you mentioned Bud Soda. Everybody knows what Bud Soda is because Bud Soda supports a lot of people, right? Sure. He's a fun, great guy. He's a hard worker. He makes his opinion known. Like, if you don't like Bud Soda, that's a personal thing. Most people like Bud Soda. You don't have to agree with him, but you like him and you respect him. Right?
Soda. Yeah, I met him.
So it's funny you mentioned him because, there are times that Bud Soda has my number. We've talked numerous times, right, about other things, and also not just about DoorDash and the gig economy. But there's times you don't hear from him, or I think about other people. I'm going to name some names because I was thinking about it today. I think about somebody, and you mentioned this person. Gig Matrix used to come on the show all the time. He was a staple, right? Mm-hmm. Now, some people don't wind up showing up to your content, or you don't see them because they got out of the game, or maybe they just don't like watching you, or there's a lot of reasons. But a lot of reasons, and a lot of times you see a channel like mine with almost 76,000 subs, and the reason not all 76,000 watch every video is because people organically don't do this work anymore, right? But sometimes when you don't hear from a Gig Matrix, a Slavic, I hadn't heard from Slavic in a year, and he came up a couple of weeks ago, but I hadn't heard from him, right? So you wonder, like, hey, are these people doing okay? Are they just not doing gig work? Did something happen? Are they in a hardship? Right. I know a lot of people that I've talked to them on the phone or received an email, Marcus, and they're like, hey man, I haven't been doing this work for 3 months now, Pedro, or 6 months or a year. I ran my car into the ground. It wasn't for me. I had to go back to a W-2. And those aren't what I consider success stories necessarily, because like they weren't able to make it happen and they had a hardship. Something happened. It was life hit them, and it happens, Right. So it's just like when you talked about Bud Soda, I think about Tina. I think she had a channel and it was Pinky Pink or something. She was on here She was on here all the time. Haven't heard from her. Is she doing all right? I don't know. Right. So there's so many like things that could happen. It just makes you wonder, like, are people doing okay out here? Are they struggling? I talked to some friends today. One of them's not in the gig economy anymore. She went back to doing something else, and she's going to be fine, but like she couldn't do it because it was just, like she had too many hardships and the market wasn't sustainable. And I think we think it's always going to be here for a lot of us. And I think that the gig economy is a great way to make money, but if it's 100% of your income, I stand by it. And I've always said this. I think if this is 100% of the way you're making your money, for most of us, it's not going to be sustainable. And we just have to be ready to mix it up if we need to. You know what I mean?
Well, before you bring Roy up here, I want to, if you think I got my mind's all over the place. You made a good point about the whole so many people got to come together, because it's funny you said that, because I thought about that not too long ago. I was on the freeway. I told you my W-2 I drive. Yeah. And I was on the freeway, and like I said, it was like just full blown traffic. And I said, for me to get home safely every night to my kids, everybody's got to be on point.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Because if you texting and I'm texting, I'm talking to you on StreamYard and driving, and he's on the phone arguing with his girlfriend, it's a one person to mess around and try to get over and, like I say, car pile up or something. I always think about that. And like I say, not to hold Roy up, but he's one of the main people that always talks about that. He said something one day. He said, we got insurance on our cars, we got insurance on our phones, we drop them, but we never think about ourselves. And that never really stuck with me until, and I'm not trying to make the chat all morbid. I don't want to be turned to like death. But again, like you said, Matrix in them, our first thought is always they went back to gig work or they went back to a W-2, this and that. No, God forbid anything's happened to anybody. Like I say, some people know he's not here because guess what? He's in a, he got an accident. He's in the hospital, lay up some damn where. I don't want that for nobody, but this is some things that I feel like we all kind of ignore that type of stuff. At least I was doing that. I ain't gonna put it on nobody else. I was doing that. What's up, Roy?
Woo-woo. What's up, Marcus? Long time no see, my man.
How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Howdy, Pedro. Thanks for having me on, Pedro.
Well, so hey, I mean, I feel like basically now Roy and I are just gonna fucking have a show together because we're just on each other's panels every week, it seems. And, good.
Oh, and what you said earlier about being prepared, like, yeah, half you guys aren't prepared when DoorDash sticks it in your butt. I don't think you'd be prepared when you go to jail for killing somebody to have it stuck up in your butt.
No,
either, so.
probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, yeah. No, most of these people aren't prepared for a flat tire, bro. To be honest with you, from what I see and some of the stuff I see, in a lot of this you can't prepare for, man. These people think that, I got it. You can't prepare. I've had my car totaled on a delivery. I wasn't able. I had, luckily my group of people on YouTube, they helped me with my down payment just to be able to get a car to continue working. So I've had a car total. I had one of my friends I work with at Domino's. He was killed doing DoorDash by a drunk driver.
You said that.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So
I wanted to bring you on this conversation because when I was talking with Marcus, your name was brought up a couple times in Bud Soda, and I thought Bud Soda would be here. I should have just texted him earlier to have him on. Maybe he'll show up. If somebody has a line to him, text him or reach out. I'd like for him to come up too. But anyways, the reason, because your name was brought up, and you're always somebody that talks about the being prepared and having a bag or just being ready and being safe and driving safe and things like that. And I'll be the first to admit, this is gonna sound weird. I'm a good driver, but I'm a fucking horrible driver at the same time, right? Like I'm good, but I'm very distracted, right? But I know that might not make sense to some, but it makes sense to me. But I could self-admit, like, I am not the safest driver, if that makes sense, right? But I wanted to bring it up because I know you've been in this game for a while. You was doing the ride share stuff. You had some hardship, and you've shared that publicly. I won't do it here, but I'm mentioning it for reference. So I thought you'd be a good person just to talk about like how things could change very quickly for you. For any,
very useful.
When I say you, I mean the audience. Like for any of us, I think sometimes we forget. We get so excited, we get hyper focused on. I made $100 today or $200, and which is great. We got to make money. We all got families, we got goals, we got bills, we got whatever the fuck we want to do with our money, right? But like things could happen quickly, and I don't think a lot of us think about that enough. We don't need to think about it every day because that's that's a little unrealistic. But I wanted to bring you up just to share some of your perspective on how fast things can change and how being ready or not ready could be how important it is, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, being ready. Yeah, it's very important. And like I said, that's the thing about when you say be ready. Ready for what? To be honest, we can't even be ready for what these apps do to us from week to week. You have to react to whatever happens to you, and unfortunately, some of these instances you can't react to. Like you said, I've had my story where I was living in my car. Everybody knew that. I came from a delivery, and I didn't know I had blood clot in my leg.
That's a real moment, man. That's real.
It ended up in my lungs. I had to rush myself to the hospital, and could have very easily took me out. 4 blood clots lodged in my lungs. So
how long ago was that? How long ago was that?
Oh shit, 2020, not too long ago, 2020.
Wow. I thought maybe longer than that. Wow.
Wow. Right.
And and when you see these people, yeah, granted, I was living in my car and so on and so forth, but at the same time, I was walking around every day. I had 2 delivery jobs. I worked at Domino's and Jimmy John's, and I was constantly moving, and I still was able to develop that in my leg, and it ended up lodging in my lung. And so when I see these people in their cars 16, 17, 18 hours every day, and a lot of them are fucking, let's be honest, they're huge. They're huge. They don't look at their health. They don't, they're eating garbage every day. They're going through the drive-through, picking up a hot dog, picking up a hamburger, and they're just packing on the pounds, and they don't understand that, how bad that is for your health. And, they think, oh, I'm getting out and I'm shopping. Yeah, I was getting out doing a delivery when blood clots lodged in my lungs. So anything, and you can't really prepare for that, bro. That could have either been in the lungs or in the brain. You know what I'm saying? I could have stroked out from that. Luckily, it went where it did and not there. So, and as far as getting in a car wreck, like I said, my friend from Domino's that I worked hard with, we were both homeless at the time. We both had we stuck together. Yeah. He's doing DoorDash 11:30 at night, gets T-boned in an intersection by a drunk driver, and he kills him. So, and then my own crash that I had doing a delivery where my car gets totaled. A lot of people don't have that. Your car gets totaled. You don't have that money put aside for a down payment on a new car. What are you going to do then? Your car's your whole life, because that's how you make your money. Like you said, you're on a highway, you get in a head-on collision. Do you even have anything to stop your head from bleeding, your arm from bleeding? Should something, serious like that? That's why, I say carry the bag in the car. At least you have something to, help yourself before the, ambulance comes, or whatever the case may be, or you can help somebody else. And the distraction is ridiculous. That's why the multi-apping shit really irritates me the most. Because when I do DoorDash, when I did it, I'll probably get back into it. I always concentrated on one thing, one delivery at a time. I didn't want to have to look at my phone multiple times. Oh, is that a good enough order to take with this order? Or is that a good enough order to take with this order? Because like you said, you're taking your eyes off the road constantly. And all it takes is, like Marcus said, is to look up and boom, there's a guy standing right in front of your car. And next thing you know, Marcus is sitting in jail because he was worried about that $5 fucking order instead of just concentrating on the one that he had and, and taking care of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm sorry for breaking down, y'all, but.
No, you ain't got to apologize.
Right. No, it's a real moment.
You ain't got to apologize. I want to piggyback off something, and I'll let Marcus have a little time here. You talked about, and a lot of people are having some really good comments in the chat, like, well, Pedro, define, shout to Bobby, I think that's the first one I saw, define being ready. What does that mean? And Roy saying, well, we can't never really be ready. It's a gray area, right? For me, Roy's even mentioned it, so I guess my answer to that would be, one way we could be ready, or two ways is, do you have a prepared emergency bag and like things like that? That's an easy thing to do. You guys could go to Walmart today and probably get one and spend anywhere between $20 to $100 and get a bag with some things in it. And some of you guys have it, some of you guys don't. That's one thing physically. If you have it, boom, you're ready and you're prepared for something. We should all have that as the amount of time we're in our car. But secondly, financially, Roy mentions, and I've mentioned, and other people have mentioned, right? We spend a lot of money on stupid shit, unhealthy eating. We're on the road. We're getting this. We're getting gas. We're getting 5 energy drinks, 5 hot dogs. And it's cool. Like, I do it too. Like, we're all guilty of it at some point. Most of us are, right? But that kind of money, like financial responsibility and how you are preparing yourself for if something happens to you, especially if you're the breadwinner of your family, right, is super important in my opinion. Because if you can figure out a way to spend $10 less a day eating out or buying whatever, that's $70 a week. If you do something with that money every month, if something happens to you in January 2025, you have some money to where you're not applying pressure on your family, because now maybe you can take a couple of months off, heal up, whatever that means for you. Take a mental health week, right? So financial preparedness to me is where my mind goes sometimes, because that then, when you don't have money and something bad happens, it compounds it and it makes it stressful on your mind, your body, the people around you. So for me, how I would answer, Pedro, what does it mean to be prepared? Thinking about like your money, like we don't have PTO, guys. So you guys have W-2s. I don't. So maybe if you guys, and many of you guys in the chat, and I'll get you guys' opinion on this. If you get sick or something, you might have some sick hours, some PTO, some time off. You guys have FMLA, that's protections provided by the government if you have to take care of your your wife or your mom or your kid. I have none of that. Right. So like I always think about financially, how am I going to take care of my girls if some dude runs up on me and does something at a Jets Pizza, right? Like this is real life, right? So if that happens, I have to be ready and prepared. Are you guys ready and prepared? That's kind of the conversation. So I want to get Marcus's take on that.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I do have a W-2, but I'll be honest, until recently, my W-2 didn't offer that type of stuff. As funny as that says, because like the job that I work at is a individually owned thing. It's not a franchise, not like a Pizza Hut, not a Jets Pizza, not a Papa John's. It's one guy that owns this spot. So a lot of it was just that cash money on the spot. It was like we come in, we get a paycheck, get that cash. If you ain't here, you ain't getting paid. There was no like, okay, we got a insurance policy on you. It was like, hey, Roy, man, I can't work tomorrow, but I give you $20, come work for me. So again, we're on the road constantly, and that kind of opened him up to that. It was like, dude, we ain't got no 401k. We do now, but when I first started, we didn't. And one thing that going back to what you said about being ready, I had to start being ready in terms of my family. Now, again, we all go to the money, everybody go to the bread, but I start losing sight of my kids because like Roy would always say, we working 25 hours, 8 days a week. Well, dude, I'll tell you, and my wife can vouch for this, I would come home and not have to work my W-2, but in my mind, I got to work. And my 9-year-old would say, hey, daddy, cool, let's go play. No, daddy got to work. Yeah. And my wife would say, no, you don't. What are you doing? Yeah, I do, because look, see this prepay? This prepay say $5 from 5 to 7:30. I got to go to work. And I would leave my kids. And like Roy was saying, God forbid, I had something going on with me that I didn't know about. So now you done ran out to go to work. You done ran out to your car. Daddy ain't coming home now because daddy ran out rushing, chasing prepay, got a damn car accident, got T-bone on the fucking intersection. He was so goddamn worried about rushing to fucking go pick up a goddamn order. I lost time with my children, my family. Like, that's how I start thinking about it. It's like, dude, like, I'm so concerned about rushing to get that bag. Like Roy said, we all, every goddamn day, ain't home. Y'all, he do his live streams. He'll joke, like, I know y'all all fucking working. You ain't nobody sitting home, man. Y'all out on the fucking road working, goddamn. And that's what I was doing. And I would laugh at Roy when he said that, but I caught myself. I said, dude, that's what you're doing. I'm literally leaving my kids at home every day, drop them off at school. And like you said, so my being ready was that because I didn't have that. I was kind of like you, Pedro. I'm having it now. But when I first started my job, it was literally everything was cash. Everything was just cash, cash, cash. It was like if you couldn't come to work, wasn't no PTO time. It was okay. Hey, Pedro, man, look, I slide you $20, work my 5 to 9. Cool. I'm done. There's no paycheck. There's no PTO. There's no we'll pay you for this tomorrow. No, it's like it's a wrap. So I had to do DoorDash to make up that money. You know what I'm saying? So something happened.
Yeah. Okay,
I ain't working today. Damn, I gotta get out here and do this prepay. So that's my thing.
Well, luckily for me on my W-2, I have protections. I have that stuff. Like if I get hit or injured on the job, I'm covered. We have workman's comp insurance. We have all that stuff. So that's a good thing. But, but like you said, it goes back to your financial stuff. How much is it to cost to get Aflac? Aflac is one of the cheapest, most reliable ways to get something insurance should you be involved in an accident. They help pay your bills. Does anybody even think about stuff like that? Life insurance. I don't want to have to go that deep, but life insurance for your family. They know you're out on the road 15, 18 hours a day. We all know people get killed in car accidents like this. Out of the blue. It's like, are you prepared or is your family prepared to have to go through the expenses of, God forbid something like that really happens to you. Right. Everybody's talking about the newest car, or I got all these bomb ass fucking catering bags, blah, blah, blah. But you don't even have nothing to protect yourself should you be involved in an accident and you laid up in the house for fucking 2 months. You have nothing to cover that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they don't have the money to cover their fucking tires if they need tires because they're like, God, I got to go buy tires. I got to do this. Like me, I just, on the way home from work, I hit something in the road, punctured a tire. I have money put away for specific things like that. A lot of people don't think like that, or they don't even, put those things in their mind. And that's one of the parts of being ready is what's going to happen if I can't drive. Being that's all you do is drive. You're just driving nonstop. And everybody says, well, I have the freedom. I have the freedom. Well, let me tell you something. By looking at this chat and other YouTube channels, I don't see freedom. All I see is working. That's all I see. Work. I so sick of hearing that. Well, we can do this when we want. We can, yeah, but I see you 365 working. So don't tell me that and use that as an excuse. And like you said, Marcus, it gets mental because they're so it's like hitting a fucking cash register. I mean, not a cash register, but at the slot machine. It's like, oh, let me turn that app on. I might get that big order today. Bling, 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 bling. It's like putting that dollar bills in the slot machine. Ooh, I might hit that $20 jackpot. And so people are just so in tuned on. They probably be yelling, beeping in their sleep. Some of these people, they live DoorDash so much, and and you just can't. Your mental health is going down the toilet. Your physical health is going to end up going down the toilet. Your family's health is going down the toilet. Like he said, man, his kids want to play, and he's like worried about peak pay. What is that? You know what I'm saying? That might be the last time you ever saw his kid or something. You never know nowadays.
And that's something. I'm sorry, but that's something I never thought about though. Like, Roy, and the reason why me and Pedro had this conversation offline, I brought you up. I said because Roy is always saying that, and I never really thought about it. I would always kind of laugh, and I'm watching him laugh and cracking up 24 hours. But it's like I told you, Pedro. I said, as much as I'm laughing, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm not doing it via DoorDash. I'm doing it via Instacart.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm doing. And like I say, not because y'all, I apologize. But that's like the biggest thing of the story he said. Is like, thank God he caught what he had going on, but everybody don't catch that stuff. We're so focused on, and again, not to make it all morbid or whatever, but watching these videos, everybody's bitching about P-Pay, bitching about DoorDash, this and that, and like, dude, like, go home. Like, there's been times I've been out in my car, I'm tired as hell, but like I told you, nope, I got, like Roy said, it's a mental thing. No, man, I got this bag, I got this $400 a month. Oh, fuck, I gotta get it. It's like, dude, go to hell home. So
yeah, and people really need to. I wish there was somebody out here on gig YouTube or gig YouTube that could help these people realize that you're not a failure.
Let it out, brother.
Because people, it's because. It's like everybody's concerned is their wallet. Oh, I have the fattest wallet. I'm the best man. I'm King DoorDash. No, you're not. You're King nothing, in my opinion. Or they call you a failure because, oh, you can't make $200 a day. I can make $250 like this. I'm better than you. People need to realize you're not a failure because you can't do gig work as good as the next guy, or your market doesn't support it as good as the next guy. And then we have a big problem in this gig space where people are like that, where people want to judge you because you didn't make as much as me, so I'm better than you. And so that really gets in people's psyches too, which means, well, shit, he can make 150. I got to go make 150. I got to do it. I got to do no matter what the stakes are, what you're doing. And people need to understand you're not a failure if you can't make a certain amount of money on DoorDash. You're not a failure because you have to go back to a W-2. And that's what people look at. Like, people get on my shit. People think it's funny. Oh, you live at home with your mom. I love living at home with my mom. I take care of my mom. Yes, I got myself in a situation where I ended up homeless in the hospital. And I pay my mom rent. I had to go through that. That's what part of my story. But you know what? I'm here. I'm healthier. I get my time off. I go out. I do things on the weekend. You guys just saw a live stream last week of me out in the desert hiking with my best friend, doing shit. That's having a life. 15 hours a day in your car is not a life. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, maybe that's what they want to do. If you really think in your fucking mind that somebody wants to work 17 hours every day is something they want to do, that's bullshit. And I'll challenge anybody to that. You're just making excuses like everybody else makes excuses about whatever. That, I love working 17. Nobody wants to work 17 fucking hours in their life. That's why you buy lottery tickets. That's why you try to find a job that pays you the most money, because nobody wants that. So anybody that feeds that into that mindset, well, I love work so much, I want to be in my car 18 hours a day. You're fooling your fucking self. Let's fucking be honest. You're fooling yourself, and you're putting other people at risk. And that's another why it pisses me off. Because trust me, if I get smashed by a DoorDash driver that I know, or I find out he was on the road for 19 hours, he's going to get probably smashed too. Because that is so unsafe to me that people are willing for $5 to put other people's lives at risk and not even give it a second thought. And that's what's crazy to me is that, you know, it's ridiculous. And sorry for breaking down again, but
you don't apologize to us, man. I look at it like three men talking, and we just got 317 people watching. But it's all, you know, we're just having a convo, and I think it's great. I appreciate Roy. I appreciate the vulnerability. I think a few people, some people use that word. I think it takes a real man to be vulnerable, and I appreciate that. So don't ever apologize on my show for that.
I want to add on something right there. Pedro, I don't want to bring people on here, but I'm gonna be honest with you. It gets kind of crowded when people get everybody speak on one time. I want to piggyback on something Roy said about the content creators, and I told myself I wasn't gonna do this, but I'm glad Roy said about feeling like a loser or feeling like you don't matter. And he don't even realize he did it. And y'all ain't gonna know what I'm talking about right now. But this gig stuff, y'all are very powerful in y'all words. Pedro, I know people hate on you, people clown you, even Roy, they attack Roy. And tonight was like a big deal for me because I almost didn't come up here. And I got to shout out Obsessed Trout Fishing. Y'all know Trout, but most people probably don't.
I do, yeah.
I got to shout him out for this. Because he was funny because he was on another live stream I was watching last night. He was like, man, I already come on YouTube more and more. It's always drama, this and that. And I feel victim to that. So I'm going to say this or whatever. Dash and Trader. He had a live the other day, right? And I don't know why somebody went out their way to ask him, hey, you're going to be a part of the conversation with Marcus and Roy? And, they say no shots fired. If he sees this, man, ain't no shot, no smoke intended. But he had kind of responded in such a arrogant, negative way. And I was like, okay. And he was like, why? Why would I come up there? They ain't content creators. Like I'm not going to devalue my brand to be on camera with them dudes. And I said, now I'm saying this not to go at him personally, but I said it to say that how Roy says the mental part is real, because that kind of upset me. And that kind of goes with what Roy was saying. People are so worried about the perception of people online. Like people go at Roy all the time about he lived with his mom or whatever, vice versa, say mom lived with him or however it goes. That bugs me. And for a second, it bothered me. And I was like, see, this is the problem with this YouTube thing. We get so caught up in these perceptions of people, or like Roy always say, oh, well, I can't make $400 and you made $400. I be watching these streams. Oh, I made $200 a day. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But when he said that, it made sense because you're right. I'm not a content creator. But it also spoke to my mental. I was like, why did that bug me so much when he said that? Because I was like, because it was like, but somebody, I'm a strong dude, but somebody will take that personal, like, so sure. I'm less than you because I'm not a content creator. So like this conversation could apply to anybody. And when he said that, I was like, okay, for one, you don't even know what the hell we're about to talk about. And two, I'm like, so because you strap a GoPro to your head and you DoorDash, you better than me? And again, this ain't no shots fired, but this goes with what Roy was saying, how people get so caught up in the oh, I gotta do that. It's like, focus on yourself, man, because like that really kind of, told me a lot. I'm like, damn, like people are so concerned with the perception and the money, and that shit kind of bugged me. And I was like, and I listened to Trout, and I was like, you know what, man? I was like, I ain't gonna let it. And again, me bringing it up now ain't no shot at him or whatever, but like going back to what Roy was saying, it was like we get so caught up in the dumb shit. Like, why am I worried about, like Roy saying, like, who gives a shit if you want to clown me, man? Screw you, And it's like, I caught that shit yesterday. I was like, because I almost didn't do it. I'll be honest with you, bro. Being real mental health, I almost didn't do this because of that. I was like, damn, like, should I not come on here? Are people going to be in the comment section like, why the fuck is Marcus up here? Why the fuck is, who the hell is this dude? Like, that shouldn't stop me from doing what I did. And that's why I want to go back to what Roy said. Like, we got to start focusing on what's in front of us instead of worrying about all the surrounding bullshit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he might have even said it.
That's a good point.
I'll speak to that, Christopher Taylor's. Yes, because I am one of those content creators. I will bust your balls because you're working 18, 25 hours a day. I try to put it in more of a light way of doing it. I try to bust your balls about the way you work and say, yes, I am that one because you know what? I've seen it. I've seen the bad parts of it.
Yeah, to Marcus's point, I think I'll speak from a content creator's perspective, right? And I'm a content creator that's made a lot of mistakes on YouTube. I've made some really good videos. I've made bad ones. I don't live my life with regrets, but I've definitely not handled certain situations like a man. I definitely have had times when I've worried about what I use Marcus as an example, or Roy, right? What they had said or what they would think, or what a Ricky or the Birds is the word, a Dan, a Jeff, or Griner or Levi. Like, I'll look at a comment and be like, "What, really?" Like, and respond or not respond. And I don't respond to most things, right? But we have to remind ourselves, and I have to do a better job of it. I need to lead by example more, and I try and I do better sometimes and other times of not worrying about, oh man, that got me $300 this week. Oh man, I got to make more than this guy. I got, those competitions can be fun. There's value in it. But at the end of the day, there's like a handful of people that rely on me like every day, right? That's what I should focus on. That's what most of us should focus on. Anyway, if you can help people after those handful of people are taken care of, then that's just a cherry on top. And I try to do that every day, right? I have conversations with people. I try to shout out people, collaborate. I try to do this. I try to give people a lot of my time. But like, it's hard. YouTube and social media, and then you couple that with your car alone. Because if you're a content creator, you're still in your car alone most of the time. If you're a viewer, you're in your car alone, or whatever, right? Or you might be a subscriber watching in your room, and maybe you're alone. Like it, and you see these things, you hear these comments. It can get to you, man. We're all men here. Like, men, things can get, words can be triggering sometimes. And I'll read a comment, and sometimes I'll look at it and finish eating my burrito, and it doesn't even like faze me. And then, but if I got other things going on in my life, so I'm keeping it real with y'all, I'll read that same or similar comment from the same or different person, and that shit will hit me completely different, right? And it'll put me on like almost like a war path of wanting revenge, which is not healthy. It's not. That's not right. But like, we get so worried about the next man's plate, the next man's movement, that sometimes you can lose yourself in that. And I have lost myself at times worrying about Marcus and Roy, as just as an example, right? When I shouldn't worry about them, and I think some of us can relate to that, whether you're a content creator or whether you're not, whether you're a viewer and you're worrying about what Pedro thinks about you. You shouldn't. We don't know each other, right? It's my opinion. So it's just, you couple all that and how it could mentally, the mental health aspect of that triggered, and you couple that with the hours that we're putting in, the struggles that a lot of us are having with the gig economy, the struggles we're having with the economy overall, inflation, the cost of everything is high. Like, we're in this like weird little like matrix, this gig matrix that we're in. And it's an odd place to be sometimes.
And like I said, and don't get me wrong, I didn't say that to throw no shot at him specifically, but
I use it as a point of reference.
As a point of reference, because it was like, like we say, going back to the distracted thing, and it was like, we do that though. And I watch these live streams and I watch people do this, trying to keep up with these content creators. And again, I'm not, like my man Ricky Knight, Ricky, brother Ricky, the same thing. I watched they live, and Dash Life of Why even prefaced this. He was like, "This is what I'm doing. I'm not telling y'all to do this." And I said to myself, but like Roy always says too, we are so influenced by this internet, by these, these things. People are doing this. My W-2, like Roy talked about this also. I can't tell you how many times I be in my W-2 and I watch DoorDash just come in there rushing. Hey, phone. I'm like, dude, get your phone on my face. What's your name? Oh, Brian. No, it'll be 5 minutes. Wait, no, I gotta go. And they fly out the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like Roy just said. So you about to fly out the parking lot, mess around and run over somebody, hit somebody in oncoming traffic for a $5 going 2 fucking miles? Like, slow the fuck down. But again, I've done that. Not like I told you the story before Roy came on here. I've done that. I was so caught up, and even with that example with Trader, I said, I'm listening to that. I was for about 5 minutes, bro. I was ready to come on here and go to war. I was better have Dino part 2. Like, man, fuck, what I'm saying? But it's like, why am I putting myself through this mental, right? But I said, like, through this mental stress, and I'm in the car, I'm driving again. I'm driving. Like I said, when I'm watching y'all on YouTube, I'm watching Roy, I'm driving. I'm like, dude, this is not worth my life. This is not worth me crashing.
And that's why when I do live streams, I don't want to hear about fucking work. I want you to come in and tell me about your day. Tell me about your life. I want to hear about fucking work. I'm tired of. We got enough channels on here talking about work. I don't want to hear about your work. Tell me how your family's doing. Tell me what the last time you took a vacation or took a day off where you could just sit on your ass and watch TV. Just something simple as that, because and like I said, as content creators, it's almost we do have somewhat of a responsibility to show both sides of the story. I am like Pedro and you, some of you guys, you can be the ultimate side when it comes to doing work and showing work. I can show you the ultimate side of what it's not because I'm 51 years old, almost died twice. I don't want to live my life in my car anymore. I don't want to feel that I have to. Yeah, granted, you all have families and stuff, but that's another thing when I said it ain't going to make you a loser if you can't do it doing DoorDash. If you have to do DoorDash part-time and get yourself a full-time job somewhere else to help get insurance for your kids, you're not a loser. And that's what this community has come down to. In my eyes, it's if you don't make this, you're a loser, and you're putting down people because they're not making the same amount of money you do, even though they may not have that opportunity to do it. And that to me is some clown shit. If somebody come up here right now and said, hey, I'm taking a cruise for the next 3 months, I'm doing this, I'll call him the winner. I don't give a fuck how much money you made. He's the winner because guess what? He put enough money away. He's done whatever he had to do he's living his life. He's not in that car 18 hours a day. That makes you a winner to me. Anybody that can say, you know what? Anybody that can say to me, I had to quit gig work and to get a W-2 so I could survive and I'm doing better now, you're the winner. So
boy, it's funny to say that because it's like I have a couple guests that are going to come up. I'll bring you guys up kind of one at a time. You guys good for hanging for a little bit still, Marcus, Roy?
Oh yeah, for sure. I got all night, man.
All right, cool. So it's funny because like we see like I've been, when I first started YouTube, I was working like 6-7 days a week because I needed to, I wanted to. And like now people like they call you the shill or Pedro's not even a real dasher. He don't work anymore. You're goddamn right. I don't work 80 hours a week anymore. Like I'm proud. I'm proud that I take every weekend off. I go on a cruise every January. I'm about to go to LA in 2 weeks. Like I was in Cleveland. I was in Denver. Thank you. I'm living life. Like if you want to hate on me because I'm working less than you, I call that living life. So I just need, and I think I try to have people look at it like that because, too much of us are flexing on here because we're working every day. Like I get it, but that's not my life. And that to me is like, I could never do that. Like
and it's funny because I get the same bullshit because I haven't done DoorDash in 8 months. Who am I to talk about gig work? Motherfuckers, I've done more gig work than most people have. I started doing this shit in 2016 with rideshare. 12,500 rides. Trust me, I know gig work and you guys see me all the time in this community. So you don't think I know what's going on in the community that I can't speak on it? That's what makes me laugh. It's like, oh, well, because you're not the one in your car 18 hours a day, you don't have nothing to talk about. What the fuck? I'm the best one to talk about it because I don't have to work 18 hours in my day anymore or whatever to survive and do what I got to do. So I'm the one that should be on here telling you that. And more people need to tell people that, like I said, their mental health. You're not a loser. You're not this. You're not that. You hear so much of that shit, and like he's talking about Dash and Trader. Like he's too good to come up and talk. Well, what? Like just because he's not a content creator? Shit, we're all content. Everybody in this chat right now that's commenting is a content creator. You're up here. You're sharing your story with us. You're a content creator. Just because you don't do videos every fucking day or every month doesn't mean you're not a content creator. You're sharing your story in the chat right now. That makes you a content creator. And any one of you can turn that video camera on and share your life with us. You're a content creator. So to think because I have to have 12,000 subscribers, I have 1,100 subscribers, and I'm happy and I do my thing. I don't give a shit if people want to. Because you don't have 12,000, you're not as good as a content creator. Fuck you. I can pull more people in my live chats than most people with over 12,000 people just because I'm me. That's what people want to see. They want to see real life shit. And people in this chat are sharing their real life stories. Marcus is sharing his real life story. Pedro shows you his real life story. And you guys want to give a shit because we're willing to put our face on this fucking camera and tell you about life and show you what life is while you sit there on your keyboard, probably waiting for another fucking $5 order trying to put us down when we're trying to do things to help. And that's what's really sad is the people that are out here really trying to show you and help you. You put us down because you think you're better than us because you have more subscribers or you make $500 a day or whatever case may be. It's ridiculous to me. It's a lot of this shit's just ridiculous to me. So what's up, Hector?
What's up, Hector?
Yo.
What's up, guys? Long time. How's it going? Marcus, how you doing, buddy?
All right, bro,
It's
you
been a
doing,
while.
Yes,
Doing
sir.
all right, man. You know, I don't know if you remember me. I think you do. Probably from
No,
Matt.
man, dog, you know what, man? I see you all the time, bro, man. I be in the background a lot, but I'm very familiar with
Yeah,
Hector.
I know you always around.
I see you, brother, man. Good to see you, dog.
Yeah, likewise. I wanted to come
For
up
sure.
on here because you know, I wanted to first of all wanted to say glad you're all right, Pedro. I know you was, you know, dealing with sickness and having diabetes, bro. Trust me, I got it too. I take metformin. I take, you know, 4 times a day.
Yeah.
So I know what it is to live through that. When you get sick, it slaps you 10 times worse. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Thanks.
But I wanted to vouch for these 2 guys over here because, you know, Roy and Marcus, these are 2 very good individuals. Know them personally. You know, especially with Roy. You know, I want to shout out, like, you know, I met Roy through you know, Flex's Lounge, and he knew that I was going through some dark times many months ago. We talking about like 6 months ago. You know, one of the things about gig work, man, and you know, a lot of people really, and I'm glad this was brought up, is that when you're doing gig work, especially when you're doing like food delivery and stuff like that, you're very secluded to yourself. And it's almost like you end up losing yourself and you just don't know what to do, even if you have a good day, even if you have a bad day and stuff like that. And then you have personal issues and you don't know how to cope with those personal issues because you don't have nobody to turn to. You know, you don't want to talk to your friends about it. You're kind of uncomfortable talking about it. So when I went on Flex's Lounge, I didn't know nobody there, but I was comfortable at saying, you know, what I was going through. And Roy knows I shared my emotions there. I was emotional, started crying about my personal issue. And Roy was one of the first people to, like, you know, give me advice, you know, tell me things, you know, and I really want to say I appreciate you, Roy, for being there because honestly, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the things that I was 7 years ago, where I used to be like, I was bartending, I was doing server, you know, so out there, so talkative and stuff like that. Like doing these gig apps, it just makes you so secluded, and I lost myself in that. And when I had to deal with my personal issues, I was actually very blessed to meet people like these people in this gig world because it made me into a better person that I am today. It brought me back to the way I was. And honestly, if you want me to keep it a buck, man, that personal stuff became so bad was, you know, I thought about like, that's it. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, sometimes you have those thoughts. And you know, when you're dealing with, you know, family stuff and things of that nature, I mean, you know, I just want to thank you, Roy, for being there for me, for helping me out. You pushed me to do rideshare too. You gave me some good points, man. And you know, sometimes this place can, you know, gig space can put you in a very dark place. You know, with content creators, you know, it's all about being, sometimes I guess the content creators, they get a little too egotistical because they're trying to one up somebody. They're just trying to tell you, oh, you should do this, you should do it like this, and you should do it like that. I just feel like gig work, you should do it however you feel comfortable with. There is no right or wrong. If you want to be a top dasher, be a top dasher. If you want to cherry pick, cherry pick. If you want to work in a certain zone, do that. There is no right or wrong here. I think that's the biggest part with everything. It's like there's too much criticism from both sides. And it's just like we need to stop that garbage. At the end of the day, we're all human beings and we're not perfect. And I don't care how much money you make, there is nothing that could buy your happiness. I don't care if you're making $100 a day, $400 a day. I was making really good money with the gig apps and I was still feeling like shit. I was still feeling depressed. And you know, I mean, if I didn't meet these people that I meet today, you know, Bobby, Kalaya, you, Pedro, Hannibal, Matt, everybody, I don't know where I would be today. I really don't know. And, you know, I can't make that on the apps. There is no money in the world that could match, you know, these people that I've met today. And you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, as part of a gig community, I feel like we should be more open to us talking about these issues. Because at the end of the day, we shouldn't feel like this. We shouldn't feel like we're all strapped in. We can't talk to nobody. I feel like we should have an outlet for everybody to talk whatever they want to talk about without any sort of criticism. You know what I mean?
Well said. I want to ask you, man, how's Matt? I haven't seen him on YouTube. Everything good?
Yeah, Matt's good, man. He's just been doing his thing.
Yeah,
He's been going through some stuff, and
yeah,
he's moved out and stuff like that. Kind of like got away from YouTube, but for him, I mean, I don't want to speak on too much about him, but it also got a little toxic for him too. He wanted to,
yeah.
step a little bit away and focus on himself, and
No, that's
you
good.
know,
That's good.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you realize that, then he's was able to not go live every day and stuff. That's good. And I'm sure we'll see him back or see him somewhere. So, but that's good. I'm glad. I just wanted to ask because you mentioned him, and I thought, man, I haven't seen him on YouTube in a month or more or longer.
Yeah. He hasn't been around, but I'm kind of wanting to do what he was doing before, so I'm gonna start that pretty soon. Because I feel like and Marcus knows when we was doing the lives with Matt. I mean, we was having a great time, bro.
Oh
Wasn't
yeah,
we,
that
bro?
was
That
my
was different. That was
goddamn trout.
different.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
But
with
like I
Trout
say,
and everything.
yeah, but one thing happened that you said, bro, it was just fun. And like you say, we're always in our cars or whatever. And that's the one thing that I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of the mental stuff we're going through, like you say, we ain't got nobody right there next to us to talk about it. Like we have a feeling about something, we're right there. And again, we be driving. Like you said, Hector said, it was like that time on Matt channel, it was just a good time. And it just felt good, like just to be in my car and just to laugh and a joke. But I said at the same time, it's like you get so caught up in this stuff just to the point of like, you almost forget about, reality, and it's wild. But yeah, but heck, that was fun, bro. That was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, you know what we did? We didn't even talk about gig work, bro. You remember what we did, man? We was cracking jokes. We was talking about
All
sports because I that's what I was
everything.
telling Matt, and that's something I want to do for myself. I'm gonna do it on my own channel, extremely soon. Is because I feel like sometimes we get too focused on talking about gig work, and it's like, yo, we're freaking human beings, bro. Like I know you guys like doing stuff. You like sports. Let's talk about sports. You like women. Let's talk about women. If you like
Right.
cars, let's talk about cars. Like we should be open to talk about everything. And I feel like we as a community, we should have more of an outlet to talk about those things. You know what I
Hector
mean? Instead of
Hector
all about gig work.
Hector likes pictures of chihuahuas, so I always put a
Nah,
picture of a
you
chihuahua.
like them pictures about chihuahuas, man.
Hey,
Get out of here. You was the one that
No,
started it.
no,
Get out of here.
but that's one of the reasons why I try not to talk about gig work too much because these apps are nonstop changing. You can't even keep up with these apps. There's always something different. So you can't even tell people, do try this, do this, do that, because next week it's something totally different. So it's like you said, Hector, do it the way you got to do it to make your money. But at the same time, don't forget you have a life. Don't let that money control your life. You know what? And like I said, you're never gonna go wrong by if you have to go back to a W-2, and nobody's gonna look at you. Well, I don't look at you like that because that's what it took for me. Because I don't, you guys know my rideshare story. I got deactivated because I punched another driver's car that almost caused an accident with my customer in the backseat of my car. I punched his car, and guess what? I got to go to jail for that. So that's one of my jail stories, but I thought, what was more important, my customer or the gig app? My concern was my customer. So I lost my job protecting my customer. I went to jail protecting my customer. I would do it all again because that's how serious I took the job. But at the same time, I did it 35 hours a week. I didn't do no bullshit where I'm in my car 80 hours a week. That's what I did. And so that's what led me on my downward spiral, losing my house, losing everything I fucking own, guys. We're talking 2 big blue bins in the trunk of my car was everything I owned at the time. And I fought as hard as I could to get back to where I had. I did 2 W-2 jobs. I had my incident with the fucking lungs. And now I'm here, 70 pounds lighter, going out, doing my life, living my life. And that's what it's about, and I'm glad I can share my story with you guys because you guys might not see this kind of shit. That's what we see is, oh, you got to do Tom Tasher in order to do this. You got to do this to do this. That's why I share my story because I've seen the good, like I said, $70,000 a year doing Lyft to the bad, living homeless. So I've seen it all. So, I don't mind sharing it and giving you guys, there's more than DoorDash, Instacart. And you guys, that's why we need more people having these kind of conversations like Pedro did tonight, Marcus bringing it up, Hector, to prove to you guys that shit, man, those apps don't run your life. Those apps don't run your life. And too many people are letting those apps run their life. And that's not how it should be. So.
And I'll tell you this right now. I mean, one thing about rideshare that I was talking about last week with Pedro, I wanted to bring this up. I noticed that when I was doing a lot of food delivery, I don't know if people in the chat can relate. I don't know if you guys can relate. Most of the time when I do food deliveries now, bro, it's really not fun for me. I'll keep it a buck, man. It's like I feel useless. I don't care what offer comes into my phone. I feel like I'm picking up food and I'm talking to the people, like the employees. Yeah, they acknowledge me and I talk to them. But when I'm dropping off to a person, it's like, damn, I'm not going to see this person anymore. And I did my service and you just don't feel valued. But when you do rideshare, you bring more value to yourself. You add more value to yourself. Like you're personally in the car, driving this person around, driving as safe as you can, having a very nice conversation. Either you're talking to them about something, you're making them laugh, or you're just feeling good about yourself, or you're not saying anything. But you feel so much more valued as a rideshare person than doing food deliveries. Because like sometimes and I know some people feel like this when they do food deliveries, they probably feel like it like makes your emotions low, makes you feel low. And that's where I felt like at a certain point I hit it from like, damn, I love this job to I like this job to now it's just not fun no more. So I wanted to switch it up. I wanted to add value to my personality, because Marcus and Roy knows I'm a cool ass guy. And I feel like for me, like I feel like I have more value than just doing food and all this other stuff. And that's why I like doing rideshare now, because I get to, talk to people, interact with people, and I just feel more value with that. You know what I mean? And I just feel like, anybody that's doing gig work, if you feel something like that, I was talking about this last week, try something different, try something that's going to make you from being an introvert to an extrovert. Do a little bit of socializations, the places that you pick up, ask them, hey, how you doing? How's everything? I know a lot of people in Chick-fil-A, I ask how their family is doing. Talking goes a long way. You don't even have to talk for an hour. One sentence can take you so many directions. You have no idea. You know what I mean?
You know, Hector, it's funny that you say that. Sorry, Pedro. It's funny you say that, man, because I ain't graduated to Uber rideshare yet. I ain't got. I keep telling myself I want to try it, and I remember Bobby was doing it on his stream, and he would, mute and he would have a conversation. I ain't got there yet, bro. But you might inspire me to try it one day. I ain't graduated to rideshare yet.
Marcus, rideshare ain't for everybody, but rideshare is legit. I started with rideshare. It's not for everybody, but if you got a certain kind of personality, it could be the best thing for you. It's just the interactions are mostly going to be good. There's a lot of scumbags, but as long but rideshare, man, it's a different beast. But I love it.
Roy knows. He told us some crazy stories before, bro.
It's the greatest.
In Vegas.
It's the greatest thing ever, man. Living in Vegas and doing it in Vegas, it's a whole unique fucking beast. Right? Yeah, rideshare is a beast compared to you. Everybody thinks DoorDash is hard. Try dealing with 4 crazy ass females in the backseat of your car, or worried about that drunk guy you're trying to get home before he pukes in your shit. Come on, man. Yeah, it's a whole different beast. It's a whole different beast.
Real quick, you want to bring up a few more people? Hector, you want to hang out with us? You're more than welcome.
Yeah, I'll chill. No problem.
So I'm going to bring up a few people. I'm just going to let them come up at the same time. We are going to stay on topic. We're kind of talking about, are you prepared? How are you doing? We're not talking DoorDash tips and tricks. So if you're here for that, please don't come up if I bring you up. Just share with us what you think we said tonight. But I want to ring in on something Hector said that I don't want to gloss over. Okay. And for everybody saying drop the link is pinned, but the room's full. So you're going to have to wait if you want to come on. I can get only so many people on. And there's people backstage. So that's why you can't get in. So anyways, I mentioned, how's Matt? Matt was grinding on YouTube, doing his thing, grinding on DoorDash, grinding on YouTube every day, long live streams. Listen, and you mentioned the word burnout, I think, right? And as a fellow content creator, or just as a gig worker, because we're talking about working all these hours, Marcus is talking about it, Roy, we all do it. We all hustle. We all got to get that bag. We got to make our money. We got bills. We got goals. We got dreams. We got ambitions, right? But burnout's real. And I'm saying that coming from somebody that makes a video just about every day. There's a few days here and there I might not do anything because I don't want to or I don't feel good. But I make a video every day. I'm working every day. I don't work weekends, but when you make a video, you're still kind of working, right? And it's just a different kind of work. So the burnout that Matt experienced, right? That's real. But he noticed it and said, "Hey, I'm gonna do a self check, and I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna handle some some other things that are more important, right? But I think sometimes some of us don't realize that we're in the middle of the burnout before it's too late. And that's where it really can be bad for your mental health, your physical health, your safety on the road. If you're just trying to do too much at one time, consecutive days in a row, like burnout is real. Now, not everybody will experience it at the same time. Not everybody will experience it at all, but we're humans and we need certain fuels to run and to be okay. Right. So burnout is a thing that I think we don't talk about enough from even a content creation standpoint, a DoorDash standpoint. We have to do those pulse checks on yourself, make sure you're good. Because if you're just trying to give to others, and this is me speaking from myself, I'm not speaking for anybody else. I sometimes try to give too much to y'all. A video, a short. Hey, I gotta make sure I talk to this person. And sometimes I can't do that as effectively as others. Now, I was trying to do that when I was younger. When you try to make yourself over available, but you're not good yourself, it defeats the purpose of trying to help others. Now I have a little bit better of a balance in my life where I could actually help people out because I'm not working every single day, right? But that burnout is something that we have to be aware of, because if you're not, it's going to happen at some point, and it's going to hit you really, really, really hard if you're not regulating it. So I just wanted to mention that because I'm glad Matt was able to do it, and I know other people have, and I think that's really good for him. I just wanted to kind of recognize that.
But I'll be dead ass, man. Even doing W-2 deliveries, you get burnt the fuck out. It's dead ass when you're driving. When you're always driving has got to be one of the most tiring things. You know, I don't care how old you are or how young you are. You get fucking tired. Period. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So even doing W-2, you get burnt out. You're like, fuck, another non-tipper or this or that. And unfortunately, that's W-2. Me and Marcus, we're stuck taking those non-tippers. We got to look those fuckers in the face damn near weekly. You know, so yeah.
All right, so let me welcome some new people in the chat real quick, or on the stream. So we got my man Gig Belto, my man Kevin. I can't see you, Kevin. The Gig Guy, Big Carl representing 314, Dash for Life Hawaii, obviously representing Hawaii, and we have Hector, Marcus, and Roy. So I'll kick it to Gig Beltos, and anybody can kind of interject. What do you guys think about tonight's topic? How can you relate? What do you guys got on your mind tonight?
Well, first of all, Roy, I mean, never apologize for, breaking down, dude. Trust me, man. I know what it's like to lose everything. Hell, I was married for 15 years and suddenly out of nowhere, I lost my house, lost my business. It sucks, but we pick up and go on, and we find other ways to go on. Like, one thing being over here on this community has been a lot of help, because there was a time where my mental health wasn't great. I was in real rough shape. And then I found this community where I could talk about my struggles, what I'm going through. And, it's just nice to know. And also, and in the burnout thing, yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. You can feel that. Like today, I even had a moment today where I was doing an Instacart order, and I was so frustrated because my app froze, which we've all been there, I'm sure. And, I just had to take a minute and breathe and relax, calm down. And then I felt better. But, but I just, we all need to make sure we have a backup plan, have an exit strategy. I've been putting money up left and right. I'm trying to do some. I'm working towards. Pedro knows about it. I'm in Taekwondo now, and I'm trying to work where I can be an instructor. Which that's what I want to do. I want to instruct young kids and show them how to defend themselves and make them feel good about themselves. I enjoy doing that kind of thing. So that's something I'm working towards. So once I get there, then I'll probably be doing the gig app so much. But
yeah. What's funny is when you really start doing these apps, you find out how bad of a temper you really got. That's one thing I noticed. You really find out. Like you can tell people, I'm one of the greatest, friendliest people. You get in your car and turn on that app, you turn into the meanest beast there is around. So, yeah,
that's no joke, dude.
It's no joke. So,
hey, Kevin,
let's go.
The black screen. I can see you. Yeah, I think Kevin might not be I think he's frozen. I'm gonna remove Kevin. Kevin, you can try to come back in if you like. There's an open spot.
Man.
The gig guy. What do you think about tonight's conversation, man? What do you got on your mind?
So tonight's conversation is actually pretty interesting because I'm going through something myself. So in the past like year and a half to 2 years of me working these apps, I've noticed that I kind of got trapped into like an employee mindset, which is not the reason I came to these apps in the first place. You know, I started noticing that like, you know, when DoorDash did all these changes and they're saying like you have to keep your AR at 70% or you'll lose Dash Now anytime, you'll lose LOP and all this stuff. I started following that regime. And I was starting to try to keep my AR up, try to get Diamond Cart on Instacart, all this stuff. And like, you know, I wasn't happy working these apps anymore. And just recently I stopped and I said, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like, why do I care about my AR? Why do I care about Diamond Cart? Like, I'm like, I feel like I work for DoorDash. I feel like an employee. Like, I feel like I should be on payroll. You know what I mean?
Roy, did you?
So I got a little bit depressed there, and I was like, you know, should I go get a W-2 and all this and that? But then recently, I started working these apps again like an independent contractor. I open up all my apps. I don't give a fuck about my AR anymore. I don't care about my dollar per hour. I don't care about any of these programs. Basically, all I look at is the job and is the pay worth it? And if it is, I'll take it. And then my results have been great. I actually downloaded an app that I haven't used in a long time. It's called Angie's for Pros. And it's not just delivering food and stuff. You know, you might install a ceiling fan for somebody, mount somebody's TV, clean somebody's carpets, whatever you can do. If you have a skill set, it's pretty much on that app.
Yeah.
And, you know, like tomorrow I'm going, it's like 30 minutes down the road to assemble a kid's dresser for somebody. And there's a bonus on that app because I haven't used it in a while. It's like a welcome back bonus. I'm going to make $161 in like an hour just assembling the dresser. Yeah. And then after that, I'm just going to turn on the apps and make a little bit of extra money. So since I've been working in this way again and not worrying about all these little programs, I've actually been happier out there on the road. Like today I was working and, you know, it was like 1:30 in the afternoon. I was like, let me see how much money I've made so far. And I kind of looked it up. I was at $260. I was like, oh shit. And then like I right after that, I saw a Walmart order come in. It was like package delivery. It was $50 for 20 miles. It was like 13 drop-offs. So I started doing that. And my wife calls me and she's like, hey, she was like, how's everything going and everything? I was like, oh, it's going good. And she wanted me to come back home, hang out and stuff like that. And I was like, well, fuck. I was like, I already made my money for today. I was like, I don't need to stay out here anymore. Yeah. So I ended up coming back home and just chilling.
Yeah, dude.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear you realize that. See, that's the problem. A lot of people don't realize it, and it until that one day you're sitting there, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah. And we've all been in that spot. Like you're just sitting there, like in that one day, you're just like, damn, what am I doing? Where's my life? What am I doing? And I'm glad that you popped that shit finally clicked on you. It's like, what? Because that's what you see on YouTube all the time. You got to get this. You got to try for diamond. You got to try for platinum now on DoorDash. And you're struggling because you're saying, okay, well, let me try it. And then it's like, well, fuck that. And you just like it just dawns on you one day. Fuck that. I'm not having. That's no life to do that kind of shit. I'm glad you kicked out of that. That's awesome.
Exactly. Like it's awesome. I mean, I you know, every order that I take right now, I'm completely happy doing. Like I'm not taking anything just because I'm trying to get my AR up or any of that stuff. And it's like the results have been great. And I'm like, you know, I'm not even worried about it. So I'm thinking in ways now, like thinking about doing other things besides DoorDash and Instacart and everything like that, because my mental state has been like, you know, if I wake up tomorrow and DoorDash canceled my account, like, can I still make money? And if that hurts the money that I'm making, then I'm not very independent, am I? I'm very much dependent on DoorDash.
Well said.
It goes to what I was asking everybody earlier. How ready are you for what's coming next, and what could be next for you? And what you thought was, hey, if I wake up and I have no DoorDash account, which that could happen, I could have that happen to me tomorrow, right? Yeah. So if that happens, you're like, okay, well, do I have this Angie's for Pros? Do I have this? How can I position myself to not be stressed and worried about one particular app and feel like an employee and feel a little more independent in my thinking so that I can be prepared, right? And having that, I mean, you're not as stressed, so it's better for your mental, and it's better, you know, and that starts to trickle down into, I think, relationships for people and your time management and how you feel about things and how your outlook on your day tomorrow is very positive right now, right? Versus negative, trying to chase a number, chase a whatever.
Absolutely.
I think that's amazing. I like to get Big Carl and then YN. Marcus, you're in charge for a minute. I got to get a refill of tea, brother. So you're in charge, all right, man?
Hey, bro, I got you, Doug.
All right.
I got you, bro.
Pedro's gone. Party. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, you know.
Yo, let's start dropping F-bombs now. You guys are ready? This is good. Okay.
My laptop charging up. My laptop's about to die.
Oh, God, man.
Yeah, but you really do find out how bad of a temper you got when you start working gig apps. Dead ass.
That ain't no joke.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's my thing with doing rideshare. Like, I'll be in my car by myself, like, get out the way, you effing idiot. Like, you know, and I don't have anybody in my car, and I'm like screaming at the car in front of me. You know, so I say the same thing. Like, that might be
But that's another thing with ride. That's another thing with rideshare too. Is because you almost become like a little psychologist, and it actually, in my case with the rideshare, it actually helped me a lot because it's like you get to hear their issues, and then you look at your life and like, God damn, I'm bitching and complaining about something as stupid as this. I'm dealing with this person back here that's, you know, dad's in the hospital. I just picked you up from the emergency room, shit like that, you know. And then you get to see other people's real life issues that you can compare your shit to and be like, well, fuck, my shit ain't that bad. You know, I got it good, you know. And so that's one of the reasons why I like rideshare too, is because you always get to learn stories and you get to meet people. Well, here in Vegas, anyways, you got to meet people from all over the world. You know, from Russia to South Africa to Australia. That's why I loved it so much, is because you got to hear everything from everywhere, and you become like the little psychologist. You know, because they're having a bad day, and it makes you feel good. You know, you're like, fuck, I feel like shit because I got to take a $5 order every 30 minutes. Well, with the whole rideshare thing, then you get to talk to these people, and you're like, it just takes all the weight off your shoulders and shit. That's why I tell people, if you can do rideshare and you're comfortable with it, go for it. Because
I mean,
like I said, you know, it's just you know, and shit. So
I had a legit. I had a road rage incident just earlier today. Yeah, man. No, man. I was just driving. You know, I wasn't even. And this is crazy. I wasn't even working the gig apps. You know, a guy comes flying up on me doing about 65, 70 in about a 45 mile an hour zone, and all I did was flash my lights at him.
Is that Carl?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Carl, what's up, bro? Where was that at?
Shit, this was in Afton at Tesson Ferry and Revis Barracks, and I actually know the guy that it happened with.
That's crazy.
And yeah, he was, you know, like, man, pull over so I can beat your ass. And I was like, dude, what the fuck, you know? And so me being me in the moment, I pulled over. Okay. And words were exchanged, and pretty much he pulled out a holstered pistol.
Oh,
and I thought I was legitimate. I legitimately thought I was going to have to do something I didn't want to do today.
Yeah, it ain't never worth it, man. It ain't never worth
Well, it's just crazy where people's headspace is at these days, man. Especially in my city, it is wild, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's great. St. Louis.
Yeah,
That's a good thing. That's a good thing that he brings that up. That's a very good thing, because that's one of the things that we don't talk about. Road rage.
That's what's making and that's what's driving. Like back in 2016, it wasn't as bad drivers. Now you got everybody on the road. You got everybody trying to do the same thing, trying to make money because the saturation level on people, because of the whole pandemic situation. All these people are doing it now, and yeah, it's crazy. And that just makes it even worse now, because the amount of people that are on the road now, it doubles or triples your chances of being hurt, or, you know, dealing with some dum like that, you know, doing the, you know, road rage shit on you. It's crazy.
I mean, people are just so stressed out and on edge, man. It's anything could be the straw that breaks the camel's back at this point. It don't matter who you are.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
And to be honest, in my W-2, there's days where I hope there's no deliveries, because I'm not even in the mind. I rather sit there because I'm not even in the mood to drive. There's days when I wake up, it's like the last thing I want to do is get in my car, And unfortunately, a lot of us that, or a lot of you guys that do the gig work, you have no choice but to get in your car. And if you don't have the mindset to drive, you should not be driving. That's like when they tell you if you get in an argument with your wife, don't leave, don't drive. Or if you're fighting with somebody, don't drive. Because there's days I wake up, I'm like, damn, I do not want to fucking do one delivery today. I'd rather sit inside, ring a cash register, do anything but drive. You know what I'm saying? So and if you guys are doing it 7-8 days a week, I can imagine how many days you've woken up and said, fuck me, man, I got to get in that car again. And when you just don't want to, you know? So
no doubt.
Yeah,
No
with the
doubt.
ride, real quick with the road rage, bro. I came from New York, man. You know, you can tell from my accent, I'm from New York. Born and raised in Queens, and I moved to Texas. I moved to Houston.
Hector, I thought you were from like Seattle, man. I can't tell at all. What are you talking
Get
about?
out of here. They ain't no accent from Seattle. Get out of here. No one even knows what a person from Seattle sounds like. No. Check this out. So, yeah. Born and raised in Queens, bro. You used to drive around, and then when you blow the horn at somebody, we just come out the car. We just want to fight. Ain't nobody trying to hold guns. Well, here in Houston, moved here three years ago. Yeah, they have their right to conceal and carry, and
fucking H-Town. You don't want to fuck around, dude.
Yeah, but the worst part is what you guys don't know is that the drivers out here are 10 times worse than they are in New York, bro. They don't signal. They cut you off.
I'm in Dallas, Texas, dude. Trust me.
Yeah,
I've
you
seen
know how it
Instagram.
is. Yeah, they cut you off. They just come out of nowhere. Like they got to make a left turn, so they're standing in the middle lane, and they make a left turn in the middle lane. You're like, yo, where the hell did you come from? Like, you know what I mean? So, and then
all the fucking time, dude.
And then you flip the bird. Yeah, you flip the bird at them. And then, next thing you know, they just come out like, yo, what's good? And they're holding out a gun. I mean, yo, the road rage stuff, I'm telling you right now, man, that's one of the things I really had to correct myself from. Yeah, I really had to correct myself on that because it wasn't.
That's another danger you deal with every day when you're on the road. It's just another danger that people don't think about when they're picking up that $5 order. They don't know who they're going to piss off, like big homie running up on Pedro.
People out there move, bro.
People will out there snatch your life for doing shit like that.
Yeah, don't do it for me.
So you can't do that kind of shit, and it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse, and
so facts.
Life for why you were showing his stream talking about road rage. He's not displaying anybody. I just thought it was appropriate to he's driving around. So Boots, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I had y'all on mute.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. What do you? What's the combo?
I mean, the conversation is it's interesting topics. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. And I'm somebody who works a lot of hours. I've been trying to stay out of this conversation because I don't want to feel like I'm being attacked by something that's not even concerning me. It's a lot of people that works long hours like I do, so I'm not the only one. But once again,
this live stream definitely isn't about a person. We're talking about a topic. But I'm glad you're here. So I figured definitely come up. But it's not about an individual. It's just about a topic and how we feel and experiences that we've had when we have worked a lot or not worked a lot and things like that. But definitely chime in and give us any kind of perspective you got, brother.
I mean, like I said, like we had a conversation through a text last time. My phone goes off when you drop a topic, right? And I'm like, he's not talking about me. It's not about you. This, that, and the third, right? And they want to pit people in this space. I've heard y'all talk about people in this space. People in this space want to pit people against each other. And ever since I've came into this space, as far as was revealed, you and several other creators have taken me under the wing. It's no swarm. I have to look at it different. But as far as when it comes to the topic of working hours, Roy, you're right. Nobody wants to be in a car every day, all day. But when you have goals in mind, and you have a way and a means to get to those goals faster, you do what you got to do to get to those goals. So do I want to do this every day? Hell no. I'll be the first one to tell you. And just like I said when I first came out here, I'd suggest nobody ever work like I work. But if you did half of what I do, you will be okay. But and with that being said, when I started working these long, I've never. First of all, let me clarify something. Me being in the gig economy is not the first time I've worked long hours. I've worked long hours at pretty much every job I've had, and I've worked overtime. I've did all. This is nothing new to me, and I understand it's me and not everybody else. So when I started doing the driving in the gig economy, I had to take precautions with my body and reinvent myself. I know everybody's not going to do that, but I had to do those things. I changed my eating habits. I don't eat junk. I eat fruits, vegetables. That's what I do. I make my own juices. If my body say go to sleep, I go to sleep. I don't be out here nilly-willy doing the things I do, just being reckless. And I'm just speaking on me in general so people can understand. I have a goal.
We
I
appreciate
have
you sharing your perspective. I got nothing but respect for a man sharing his perspective. Keep going, man.
I have a goal. I regularly see my doctor. If my doctor tell me to stop, that's when I'm gonna stop. But everybody in the gig tube space wants to be your doctor. They wants to be your lawyer. They wants to be your CPA. They wants to be everything. And I understand we are driving. My thing is, if you're not happy in the space, just leave. Don't like. Because everybody's talking about it today. When I get up in the morning, I'm gonna work the same hours, and I have people that's been on my panel that work the same hours. We, and it's not just me. We work, and some of us are happy doing this, whether you want to believe it or not, because we have an end goal, and we're getting there faster through this work. You can't go on the W-2 and tell them you want to work these hours. They're going to put you at 40. And if there's no overtime, if there's no regular time, you're only going to work 38. Sometime the W-2 work, is nothing wrong with having one. Let me put that caveat in there. There's nothing wrong with having a W-2 at all. If you can't cut it in this space, like Roy said, go get a W-2. But on the flip side of that, just like Roy and Marcus said, people will clown you. People will clown you in this space for saying you're a failure. They will talk. It's so, and like I say, I'm not trying to make this about me, right? But I get hate mail. I get hate mail. I got a message from somebody said, if you keep trying to motivate the streets, you're gonna have a hangout party with a tree. You see what I'm saying? So I get that kind of things. I get all kind of stuff. I get people up on panels talking about me, and I'm not even in that panel. I'm living in their headspace for free. I got people talking about I did it faster, I did it better. He's a moron. Woo, 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 woo. They counting my pockets. They get a catering order and I made more money. Like, and if I wasn't conditioning my mental health, if I wasn't conditioning my body, if I wasn't conditioning myself to maintain all the stuff that I've been getting for the last 12 months, I'd have been on crashed and burned. I would have been on crashed and burned. And I understand what you're gonna say, Roy. I understand it. And I don't want to go back and forth. And I just kind of want you to understand where I'm coming from. I have an end goal.
Okay, first of all, I never said anything about you. And
I know you haven't, Roy, but I know how you. I just heard you say I challenge anybody, and I don't want to just go that route because we can go back and forth, and you can say Boots, you lying, Boots this, Boots that, and that's not what it is. I'm just giving you my perspective on why I do it.
But you got to remember, you're the exception to the rule. And I'm not talking, and you've already shown that you take vacations, month-long vacations out of the country. The people I'm talking about are the people I see 365 days a year on YouTube doing the same shit, talking about that they have a life and they don't. You have already demonstrated that you bust your ass, you work, but you also take 2-3 month vacations at a time. So what I'm saying doesn't even really apply to you because you're an exception to the rule. But in a generalization point of view, they're not like you. They don't do the things that you do. They're working 365 days a year. Or you're out there doing it, and then boom, you're taking your vacations. You're doing stuff. You're not even in the realm of what I bring up or how I bring up stuff. So I would not ever take it personal on you from what I say because I'm speaking to the people that I see every day on YouTube, always in the panels talking about I'm working. You see what I'm saying? So there's
Right.
you fall in a totally different category.
And not to cut you off, Roy, but like I say, just like with Pedro, just like with you, just like with UDM, anytime one of you guys say like pretty much like a topic of the 100 hours, my phone blew up because they try, and like I explained it to Pedro, they want to make a problem out of no problem.
Boots,
You know what I'm saying? Even hold on, Pedro, even when I talked about the catering apps, you know what I'm saying? Why I chose to back away. Oh, you going after UDM. You know, so in this space, when I work the hours I work, it's not to try to showboat, it's not to do any issue because I have a goal. I have a goal, I have an end goal, I'm building things, I have other things outside of the gig economy. And I know your topic is, are you ready? I'm ready. If it's things that happen to me, I'm not gonna say because people gonna take it and run with it in a negative light. But I had a car totaled last year. I went and bought another one. So like you said, Roy, I'm exception to the rule, and I understand that. But when I keep getting over and over and over and over, the most part about being in this space is the mental part about the people. Like Roy always said, if you don't know what you're doing, go get a W-2. The pandemic money is gone. It's gone. It's not coming back. And for you to sit up there and complain about anybody else that's willing to do what you're not willing to do and sneak this them and clip stuff on my channel and send it to other people and say I said whatever I say, I stand on it. And that's where the problem, like, it's not a problem for me because I learned how to condition myself. And like you said, Hector, I've been talking to Matt. Me and Matt go back and we talk to pretty much almost every day. When he said he needed a break, I said, bro, take the time you need because no matter what, I'll be right back.
Yeah, so I think I think Boots is definitely getting some hate, some emails. He's sharing some things that are
but at the same time, bro, just because we have say some or we make a comment on what we believe and what we think, you can't hold us responsible for other fucking idiots texting you or fucking email. You can't hold us.
Roy, that's why I don't respond to nothing.
Listen, hold up, y'all. Listen, I don't like to mute people, but you guys gotta let me talk on my show sometimes. Okay, I'm trying to say something here. Okay, I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, it's your channel.
I'm gonna unmute you. Okay, listen. I like this conversation. I'm glad, Boots. I'm glad you're here, right? And I want to keep this it's on par, I guess, with the theme of it and us helping each other and us having a real conversation, us understanding, us challenging, accountability, whatever words we want to use, right? But I think, I can understand your perspective, Boots, because you're the guy on YouTube that is hustling like that, right? So people are going to organically assume that we're talking about you or this or that, and you might internalize some of that as well. When you hear us say certain things, you might internalize it, but we're talking more generally, right? But I love that you're saying you are prepared. That's good. That's fantastic. You've got end goals, end games. These are all great things, right? But what I want to know from you is, I'm gonna see if I can remember how you said it, because when you first came on, you said, how are you feeling when you're getting people coming at you with emails and saying certain things, and maybe you see comments? How does that make you feel? Because you stand on your business with how you do your business, which I respect that 100. We've talked about that offline, right? But how do you feel when you get that hate from people when you're just trying to make ends meet? How you feel about that? Like, where's your mind when you're getting that hate?
At first glance, like I'm gonna use this as an example. Had I not came to Denver and we met, we sat down, we chopped it up, we broke bread.
Yeah.
When you dropped that thumbnail, a little bit of me was like, oh hell no. But then I had to sit back in my seat and I meditated.
Yeah.
I was like, I said, you know what? Pedro got my number. If it was against me, Pedro got my number. If it was against me, he would have called me.
Yeah.
Huh? So that's why
it's easy to assume something if you don't know somebody. But when you meet,
right.
we've met each other. We've broken bread.
Right.
So you know, that's why you didn't. I'm glad you didn't internalize it that way, because you understand that it's not about that. You know what I mean?
No, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. When I seen the thumb, I was like, oh hell no. But I had to do what I do, and I had to meditate. Even when it come to Roy, like people say stuff, I be like, that look, Roy ain't talking about me. He talking about y'all idiots, and that's what I say. He talk about y'all idiots, you know what I'm saying? And people don't like the way you talk, Roy, Pedro, you talk, and the way sometimes I respond like to certain things. But I had to realize in this space, you have to learn. You don't even have to. Well, you do have to worry about the physical part of being in this. You know, like you said, you see the people unhealthy. You see them walking around. You see them barely getting out the car, walking into the restaurants, gasping for air, and you wonder, and you want to say something to them, but you know you can't say nothing to them because they're gonna take offense to it. You know, and it's like you have to put yourself. Well, with me, I had to put myself back into my. At the beginning of the year, I had to put myself back into my meditation state. When something's bothering me, I meditate. That's what I do. I go out meditate. Even I'll pull over a little bit, 5-10 minutes, take that meditation, get out, do some jumping jacks, probably hit a couple push-ups, and then I'm back to myself. And I'll be on my panel. My panel sometimes I don't even know that.
Yeah.
But when I get up in the morning and I go through all the hate mail, I get to them messages that say, man, you motivated me. I walk in the restaurant, people like, look, bro, you motivating the streets. You motivating the streets. And I tell anybody that meet me, don't work like me. Just don't do it. I'm telling you. Like you say, it can cause problems in your relationship. It can cause problems with your kids. It can cause problems throughout your whole life. But if you learn how to, like Roy just said, I balanced. Last year, I took 3 months off, not consecutively, but my time off equaled 3 months. And it's not all about the money. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not all about the money. It's because them 3 months, averaging what I average a week, I left 33,000 on the table. So it's not about money. And I'm not bragging when I say that. I'm just letting you know. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So people think it's about money. People thinking it's about me bragging. People thinking it's about me knowing it all. No, it's not about that. I have a goal. I have an end goal. And I'm going in the gig economy is seed money. Seed money for me to fund my other projects. And you know, when you say get prepared, like Roy said, you need life insurance, you need car insurance, you need health insurance, you need a second, third vehicle. You need all that in this economy, but you get a lot of people who came out here. They jumped out here during the pandemic. The money was flowing, and now it's not flowing. They don't know how to adapt. They don't know how to adapt. They don't know how to be ready. Like a lot of people is scared, is in fear of the tier. Do I want the tier in my market? No. But if it comes, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna adapt to it if I choose to turn the app on. And when I look at the hate you get, Pedro, the hate you get, Roy, the hate everybody get, it's like, damn, why are people in this space so miserable? And I was talking to somebody on my panel named DC out of Memphis. He said people in this space don't want to do this work. They want to complain about the work. They want the money. They want to be independent employees. And you can't be a halfway crook in this business. I'm just saying. And that's where the problem come in at. You have a lot of people who disdain for a lot of us.
It's okay for us to think and feel and work differently. It's okay for Roy to question Boots about something, or Marcus to be like,
right, exactly.
This or Hector. It's okay for Hector to be like, bro, Pedro, you're wrong, or you know, like it for Big Carl to feel so, you know, it's okay for us to be challenged or whatever. None of us are always going to be right or wrong, but I think what we have to realize is more of us are alike than we are not alike. We're all just trying to out here make money. We're trying to take care of our families, and tonight's live was about, while we're doing that, are we also thinking about the future, the end game, the bigger picture, our health, our time, our families? Are we prepared if something happened? You know, and these are good conversations to have, because all of us on this panel work different jobs. We have, some of us have W-2, some of us have both, some of us are all income on rideshare, like, and that's okay. So we're all going to have different walks of life, but it comes from respect? How do we all get hate, like you said, right, guys? But like, how do we at the end of the day just continue to try to like respect and understand while we can do that and hold each other accountable and ask questions? And I think that's good. That's
right.
You know, that's good.
And that's what I'll be trying to tell people. Have some accountability in this space, right? So, when I talked about accountability on your panel one time before, I got attacked. People don't like that word, man. They don't like the fact that they don't. Huh?
You for a minute.
Yeah. You said what?
I think, and I could be wrong. You gotta, and this should mean something coming from me, because sometimes I give a fuck too much about what people think about me. I think sometimes you gotta ignore the people that aren't aligned with your morals and that, and just say fuck them. You know what I mean?
That's what I've been doing. I say fuck them and feed them fish on Friday.
It's fine. Yeah.
But what I was saying when I was saying, like, what I was about to say is about when you hold people in this, when you tell people in this space to be accountable for their actions, they take offense to that word. Like a couple of weeks ago when Roy was talking to a dude about the pizza bag, the dude was like, I don't give a fuck about a pizza bag. That's not being responsible, bro. It's not. And he got offended by Roy trying to hold him accountable. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to accountability in this space, people gonna always say, "Oh well, it ain't this, that, and the third," and they get offended by your words. Like, I like having these conversations because I like, it took me everything in me not to come on the panel, right? It took everything in me not to come up here because I didn't want it to turn into something else off your topic.
No,
and
we can say topic.
And that's why I'm glad I sat back and you came to me and I had time to think. But like I say, when I came in this space, Pedro, you and I both know, Roy, you and I both know that it's a lot of people in this space who were so comfortable with the W-2 taking care of all their outside affairs, they don't know how to handle their outside affairs. So being in this space, everything relies on you. When you got to go get your health insurance, when you got to go get your life insurance, when you got to get your car insurance, when you got to keep the maintenance on your car, all that is on you, not the W-2. And in this space, they don't know how to do it. So they're not prepared for it. If something happens to one of my vehicles, look, I'm going to get out that vehicle. I'm going to go grab another one. If I can't grab another one, that bitch going to the shop and I'm still going to continue to move it forward. But a lot of people only see one thing. They only see one aspect of my life, and that's the life I give them on YouTube. Yeah. That's it. They don't know the outside of my life. They probably don't even know I'm about to go to Michigan for 14 days and on the 26th. And you know what I'm saying?
You need to, unless you want them to, you know. I want to
exactly.
Stop real quick, because he's the genesis of this, you know, and I'm so very grateful for this real conversation we're having tonight with all these gentlemen up here. I'm very grateful. But I want to kick it to Marcus for a minute, just to get his see what he's got on his mind now that we've been talking for I don't know, almost 2 hours. Marcus, where are you at with this conversation? Do you think what do you think about what we've done so far tonight on this talk?
Well, I appreciate, Boost coming up here or whatever, and what he's saying is a real thing. The only pushback I kind of give to him is that I have a lot of respect for what you do. And I said at the beginning of the stream, I was like, Boost, he prepares himself, he preps himself. The only thing about it is, like, me and you almost had an issue one time where I kind of super chatted and I put your name in there. He was like, man, bring my name up. I don't have no issue how you work. And I don't know if anything that I may have said may have came across that way. I guess the moral of what I was trying to kind of convey or whatever, it wasn't so much about the money, about the taking a break. It was just the life part of it. Like, and you're very different that way. I heard you talk on your panel. I heard you talk on your channel. You got things set up. What most of us don't. That's what I was trying to say. Like, most of us don't have that savings and that built-in cushion. I know your lady joins this panel and y'all got things kind of together. I was speaking more or less to the
average driver, the average person.
Yeah, so like, you're an anomaly, you know what I'm saying? But like, one thing I do like about your message, you're very much like, you always say, people tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it. And I wasn't trying to so much focus on the financial aspect. And like I kind of thought I had you in mind when I brought this up, because I was like, the whole 100-hour thing. I know you get flack for that. I know that's something that people always come at you about or whatnot. I was just speaking more or less in terms of the what to expect in terms of just things that we may be losing while we chasing that bag. Like I said, I know we getting our money, you taking vacation, whatever, but it's like I was kind of speaking more or less in the sense of like, okay, like just like say health and just our sanity wise, not so much the money. And I know it kind of gets it always, with you, it always gets screwed that way. With you, it always turns into, oh, he makes $100,000 a year. And I saw other people making comments towards you, and I hope that you didn't take it that way. That wasn't the intention of the conversation that me and Pedro had on the phone and here or whatever. But like I said, I respect you, bro. Like I say, I respect your thought process, your mindset about people don't do what you do, and we can't do what you do. But I like that you prepared, and like I said earlier, I just wish that people would be a little more, like you say, prepare yourself instead of just chasing that bag. The bag is cool, the bag is great, but at the same time, it's like, what good is that bag if I'm out chasing it and I'll come home to my kids because I'm chasing that bag? Yeah, that trip is cool. Yeah, that goal is great, but it's like, okay, if I'm chasing this 14-hour, 15-hour shift to one day next week, get that trip to Hawaii, I'm kind of concerned, like, okay, what happens if, like I say, on my way to that catering bag required, on my way to that perspective to get this last order, I don't come home. And see, I'm not putting you in that. I'm just saying, but like that was my thing on YouTube. It's like we get a little too focused on, get this money. I'm making $400, $500, $600. Okay, that's cool and all, but like Roy said, if on that 15th hour you get T-bone going through the light, it's like I don't want to spend my whole life saying, damn, I was planning to take my kid to Disney World, so I'm out here 15 hours a day. Now I went from that to Dad's not coming home no more because he was so concerned about chasing that 15-hour day. You understand what I'm saying? So I wasn't trying to insult you or put you down, but
I understand what you like. In the situation happened, bro. When it happened on the panel, like I said last year, bro, I was like, man, I had just read a message, man, and that's the part when you talk about the mental, right? I had just read a message, like, and I'm like, damn, I ain't even up there while my name, and then you dropped it. And at that point, like I said, I had never seen you before. I have never seen you about no channel. I didn't even know who you was, and you got caught in the crossfire that wasn't. But then matter of fact, that right there, our situation is the reason why I started going back to the meditation. You know what I'm saying? Because when it boiled down to it, right, my kids are grown, right? I do have 3 grandbabies. That's another reason why I'm going to Michigan, so I can spend time with my grandbabies, right? So this is one thing about it, man, and it may sound a little bit morbid. When we all got an exit date, we don't know what it is, right? I don't live in fear. I don't know if I'm gonna get out the car right now and the bus run me over. But in the sense of it did happen, I'm prepared for it. A lot of people not. So when you say chasing the bag, if you go into a W-2 and you working 40 hours a week and you on your way to the W-2 and another car that ain't got nothing to do with you fly off the overpass and crash onto you and you expire, we can't control that. Because one thing in this life, we live every day, but we only die once. We live every day, but we only die once, right? And that was my time. That was it. The Creator said, "Come home," and I went to the different realm of life. So I can't live in fear about the bag. I'm not chasing money, bro. I'm chasing the freedom that come along with it. That's the thing about it. That's the thing about it. And when it come to me, a lot of people get it misconstrued. You got people out here who been doing it longer than me, been doing it better than me, whatever. And then when I speak on something, they got an attitude. So that's why I say when it came to that crossfire, when it came to the crossfire, I do, like I said, I apologize to you for that. It had nothing to do with you. That's why I sit back and I say, you know what? My kids, my daughter about to be 30, my son about to be 24, and I got 3 grandbabies. Now I gotta get my generational wealth for my grandbabies.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
And when I'm putting myself in a position to when I say I'm only 47, well 46. By the time I'm 60, I'm gonna be with my grandbabies on a boat fishing somewhere. And that's my vision.
For sure.
You know, with stuff to where when I lay down and go to sleep, my money's still making money.
There you go. Hey, I want to get the other guys in.
Go ahead.
Hector, Get Wells, Get Guy, Big Carl. I see Dennis Soroma's on a bike. I mean, when are you gonna get that on Most Last Street? So you guys just come on in, join in. Marcus and Boots made up. You guys can, kumbaya.
Oh, ain't no issue.
No, talking, and you're talking your perspective and your side.
Right, yeah.
I fucking love it. But somebody else come on in and jump in. The water feels good. Somebody say something.
I say being able to, see things from another person's perspective is very important, not just solely your own. I tell people all the time, do what works for you. Do what's best for you. I mean, don't let what somebody else say affect what you got to do for you and your people, man. There's always going to be something we can't control. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Just do what's best for you, man.
What I want to throw in here, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. This is like my first time actually trying to come in. For reasons of this whole gig space. I tried to run away from it. I'm actually one step back in it, but not full time. Just doing it for some extra money. But I will say this: you guys made me feel comfortable because I think
hello.
Ruh-roh.
A lot of us are losing.
Oh, you're back.
In this industry. Yeah, my bad. A lot of us are losing in this industry, but we don't have nobody to talk to. We're just doing it. And I think with me, I fought for the past 2 years to quit. And I had, on my channel, I got freaking hundreds of people yelling at me, telling me to stop doing gig work. It's making you go crazy. It's making you angry. It's making you this. You're going to always be broke. And I kept fighting the power no matter what was said to me. And I think it came down to in January, I lost 13 pounds in December because I worked every single day, 12 to 13 hours every single day. And I was living off of McDonald's. I was going to get a cheeseburger, medium fried with a Coke every single day. Yeah. And I lost 13 pounds. And in January, I realized I lost 15 pounds. And I was unhealthy. I was yelling at my girlfriend, who's like an angel. And, it got to the point of she broke down look, you need to either quit and go and learn a trade or a skill, or I'm done. And, I fought with her for a few hours, but then I'm like, you know what? This is stupid. I got this money saved up. Why am I still doing this? And at that point, I realized that I was addicted. Literally, there's no excuse because I'm never making money. I'm always just making enough to pay my bills since moving out here to California, moving to Wilmington. And then when I was back in Ohio, just enough to make bills. Because I never really made money in the gig space since 2017. I'm talking about actual real money. Now, I know there's some people that are able to drive 80 to 90 hours a week. I've tried that. It's just unhealthy. And then in most markets, you're go ahead.
It's not for you.
I wouldn't say it's not for me because since moving from Las Vegas, Las Vegas, before moving there, I was a 40-hour a week guy thinking 45 hours is hard work. Then I moved to Vegas and I'm out there with native Africans. First encounter with people that worked 80, 90 hours, and then it changed my life. I started working 80, 90 hours. And I had this little tidbit to it. I inherited money that I blew through in 3 years. Okay, from 22, 25, I inherited about $1 million in capital. Blew through it all. Ignorant, not gonna give y'all that story. That's for another day. Yeah, nasty work.
You're human, dude.
I've been doing ride share and gig work since then, trying to chase back that money, and it's become an addiction. And between that and gambling here and there to try to get to this ultimate goal of ultimately that whole rich word. But I lost my touch. I got out of touch with reality. I lost my value of money. I lost my purpose. So when I quit in January, I tell you guys, it's been 2 months for the most part of me doing no gig work, no hustles. All I've been doing is working on my YouTube channel and learning the skill. I'm trying to get into software. Oh, at first it was software development. Now it's project management. But it's changed my life. I've gained weight. I'm happier. You know, I'm not doing anything that would be considered a gamble anymore. And just overall, you know, I'm actually calling my family again. Like I lost touch with all my family and friends because I was so like, not even ashamed, but I was just so angry. I just hated to talk to family and friends. But now, like I can tell them I love them. You know, ultimately to wrap this up, I'm just saying, I think that we need more of what's going on right now with all you guys venting about the good, the bad. It might work for one man, might not work for the next man, but you can't be afraid to quit. Don't be afraid. All those people telling you, dude, stop complaining, stop crying. Just go do something else. Go get a 9 to 5. I start my 9 to 5 tomorrow. I mean, it's only part-time, but it's still my first job in 8 years. So, you know, if you're taking anything from this, just understand that, like, if your market is trash, you're not going to beat it. Just go get that 9 to 5. Give it 2-3 months. And I guarantee you your life is going to be way better because these gig apps, I mean, it's over. I mean, it's dead for the most part. But I appreciate you having me on, though, Pedro.
Hey, man, anytime. Appreciate you, Dennis. Thank you, man.
Right.
Yep.
Bobby, if you're still listening and you want to come up, there's going to be a spot available.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Hold up. And
I'm actually mixed up to get off. My phone's about to die.
appreciate you guys. Yeah,
crazy.
come up, you guys can.
Thank you guys. Y'all have a great one.
See you later, buddy.
Take care, buddy.
This old man gotta get some beauty sleep anyway. So,
all right.
That's one of the craziest things. It's everybody. It's always revolves around money, and that's what's fucking crazy when it comes to this. It's always money, 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 money. Yes, we need money to live. We need money to survive, but money ain't going nowhere with you. Nobody's going to be impressed when your fucking tombstone says was the best DoorDasher in Las Vegas, was the best DoorDasher in St. Louis. Nobody's going to be fucking impressed by that.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna love you more because you were out there delivering food 70 hours a day. Like I said, it's great to have all the money in the world, and to be honest with you, these apps keep you guys poor. I'm going to fucking say these apps go out of their way to make you guys poor, and that's what keeps you guys doing them, and that's why you're doing them 70, 80 hours a week, because these apps are what's making you do it. They continue to jerk your pay around. They continue to jerk this around when you can go out. That's why I call you guys independent employees, because you're not really independent.
Follow the programs.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I call you employees.
Programs,
so what is it going to have to take for you to realize?
Yeah. I feel like the biggest issue for most people is they just don't know where to go. Like a lot of people, they don't want to go back to their W-2, and they've been working these apps, you know, like Dash Your Life Hawaii was saying, you know, back when the pandemic was here and money was great, and now it's not great. And they're like, I don't know where to go. Yeah. I don't want to work my W-2. I want to be independent. I want to have my freedom, but I'm not making that money. Yeah. A lot of people are just like, they don't know. They don't have a goal in mind. They don't know where to go. And I feel like if you're listening to this and that's you need to put a lot of thought into it this week. Figure out what you need to do. Where are you going to go?
What and I really don't want to sound like the biggest asshole in the world, but I've had this channel since 2019. You know how many people I have seen talk about, I'm doing this because I got a goal, and yet they're still at the bottom of the barrel doing these fucking gig apps. That, you know, and then like I said, there are exceptions to the rule. Don't get me wrong, and don't take it rough if you feel I'm, you know, saying bad shit. But I've been on this YouTube long enough, and I've seen a lot of the same people say the same things. I got a goal of mine. I got a goal of mine. But yet you're still on here complaining about my car broke down. I need brakes for my car. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where's this goal? Where's this goal? What's it going to take for you to realize? Like, I'll tell you a little bit more of my story. I owned 3 businesses when I was 25 years old. Okay. In 2008, I caught a life-threatening flesh-eating bacteria. Okay, so that's when they started to realize I'm doing 3 businesses. I had all the money I wanted to. I had a 4-bedroom house. Guess what? I lost my marriage because I got sick. My wife thought it was okay to go fuck around, so I lost the marriage, a 20-year marriage. I lost all my businesses, and almost lost my life. So that was my wake up call to realize, fuck, life is more than money. And this was when I was 30 years old. I had all this, and it does. Unfortunately, I don't want to see you guys be the ones that have to end up in a wheelchair or end up, losing your wife and kids because you're out here working all the fucking time for you to finally realize, hey, where's my life? Where's my life? Because it's gone like that. Your wife walks out on you because you're gone 70 hours every week, worried about picking up McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that for people. So I try to tell my story, and I do get on you guys a lot because this is the life I've lived. I've seen the good and the bad. And so that's what I want you guys to realize, man. It's like, how big of a bag is enough? How big of a bag is enough? You can't take it with you. Trust me, you'll have a nicer headstone, but at the end of the day, it ain't going nowhere with you. Do you want to, when you do go up to the mighty Father, if that's where you go, do you want to look down and say, fuck, I spent 50 years of my life delivering DoorDash? Come on, that's not a life. And I'm sorry if people get offended by that, but when I die, I hope that I can look down and say, fuck, I lived a life, and that's what I want for you guys, and that's why, that's what I want for you guys.
Like, me and Pedro talked offline, what kicked off this whole conversation, because that's what I was saying. Me and Pedro talked about that. I was like, we so caught up in trying to do that. If I was to hit that guy at the story I told you earlier, y'all wouldn't even knew. It'd just be, damn, where that Marcus dude been at? Like you said earlier, Marcus in jail fighting the goddamn involuntary manslaughter because he was so goddamn worried about chasing his goddamn phone and so worried about goddamn, catering bag this, catering bag that, top dash this, top dash that. And it's like you say, like Boots, I respect Boots a lot. You know what I'm saying? I respect him what he said, but like that wasn't the purpose of the conversation. It was like, get your money, have your trips, do this and that. But it's like, for me, I had to start looking at my life like Roy said. I'm neglecting my kids because I'm grabbing my goddamn phone and run out to go fucking chase goddamn this damn DoorDash, peak pay. And like he said, if I turn around and not even say death, if I turn around and get into a serious car accident and I'm laid up in goddamn traction, and like Roy said, now I can't pick my kid up, I can't hang out with my wife, because you know why? I'm laid up in the goddamn hospital some fucking where because I was chasing the goddamn 1825 plus. The 1825 plus ain't gonna be no fucking good if I'm laid, pardon my language, Pedro, if I'm laid up in the goddamn hospital in fucking traction. Oh,
I get that. I want to welcome some new people. Jonathan Cameron representing Canada. What's up, man? How you doing tonight?
Hey.
What's up, fellas?
Good to see you. And Bob,
what's going on?
Got the Uber.
You got that Uber dog, bro. That's what you got. You got a handkerchief.
Kevin, what's up,
Bobby, there's not enough stream. There's more stream.
My boy Kevin, what up?
What's up, Kevin?
Hey, you know what? Roy? I like what you said. You know what, man? We talk about DoorDash. We talk about damn fucking Uber Eats and all this gig app shit. You know what? How about we just have a conversation about like what's your favorite hobby? What do you like to collect? I mean, some people like to collect stamps. Hey,
he said stamps, y'all. Stamps. Some people like to collect stamps. That's what Kevin came.
Yeah. Some people, they. Did you ever hear about that guy? I think Dean Carnett or whatever, that he ran a marathon, I think for 50 days straight. I think in like every state or something.
Talking about Forrest Gump?
No, Dean Carnett, and then some of my favorite people are like Usain Bolt, Sinead Flanagan. But life isn't just about some damn app. There's a hell of a lot more to life than DoorDash and damn Uber Eats. I mean, and
you ain't wrong.
And at least for now, let's be happy that for the majority of the country, if we want to, we can just turn the thing off, and we don't have to worry about some dumbass penalizing us.
Hey, Kevin, hey, not to cut you off, bro. In the chat right past there, I apologize, y'all. Gig Gal, I saw what you said about you can get an accident going to the grocery store. I get it, and my rebuttal to that is, I see that argument a lot. I've seen a lot of streams. People always say, "Oh, well, I can get in the car accident going to the store. I can get a car accident going to do this and that." And people like say they work 18, 20 hours a day. When you work 18, 20 hours a day, that machine you stand in front of ain't moving. I see people say all the time, "Oh, my uncle worked 50 hours a day." Yeah, I'm in you in your car.
Risk.
Yeah.
The risk is increased when you DoorDash off for 15 hours.
Yeah, the risk
you got a point. Right, you got a point, Big Gal. You can go to the store, get some milk for your baby, and get the same accident I can get into DoorDashing. But I'm just saying the risk, because we're so consumed with that. When I'm DoorDashing when I'm going to the store for myself, I'm not watching my clock. I ain't worried about a contract violation going to get my own bread. I'm just getting bread. I ain't worried about the damn, I got 10 minutes to get here. Shit, fuck, I got to hurry up. When you DoorDash and doing gig work, it creates a little bit more of a time frame. Like, okay, I got to hurry up and get this because now they cut the customer calling me. You know, I ain't worried about, I'm not calling myself to say, "Hey, where you at my bread, bro? I ordered the bread 20 minutes ago. Bring my milk." You know what I'm saying? So the level of you drivers look high. That's what I'm saying. So I get what you're saying. You know, I'm not what you're saying, but like we can do this stuff on our own too. I can go to the barbershop, get an accident, but when I'm driving 20 hours a day, or people that say I work 20 hours a day, say that cash register or that machine you stand for ain't moving. It ain't 100 machines moving. You know what I mean? So when you're driving all day,
this is where I step in to be the dick, because that's just another fucking excuse. When you say some shit, yeah, you can walk out and get hit by a bus. But yeah, okay, we can all. I can trip and get my head on a fucking rock. Oh, okay, but like he's saying, when you're in your car 18 hours a day, your risk goes from here all the way up to here and then some. And that's not only you risking yourself, but you're at that point, you're risking the level of everybody else around you. Like when he said he almost ran over the guy. He's the one that leveled that risk up for that guy walking. It's not the guy walking. The guy's walking normal, but him working 15, 16 hours a day, tired, paying attention to the phone, increased that guy's poor risk of walking to this level because he almost got ran over because of a phone. So that to me is just a bullshit excuse. Oh, you get hit by a bus. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and like I said, we could fall and hit our head on a fucking rock. Whatever works. But you're not purposely going out, jumping in front of a bus and see how many times before it hits you. But when you get in that car looking at that app, you're putting yourself at the higher risk every time. And that's so that to me is just a lame ass dick excuse to try to justify, okay, I'm in my car 18 hours a day. I can justify it by saying, hey, I might get hit by a bus tomorrow. That just is just fucking excuse to me. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I'm looking at the.
I did. Quick disclaimer: I want to get Bobby and Jonathan in on the combo because Marcus and Roy have cussed so much. The least thing I need y'all to do tonight is thumbs up, all right? Because stream ain't gonna be monetized.
My bad. Sorry.
I cussed too. I'm just giving y'all shit. Bobby, what would you like to add to tonight's conversation, sir?
First of all, I actually liked the conversation. I've been kind of listening on and off. You know, it's pretty cool. So I like it. I'll say this, right? So I don't disagree with what most people are saying. I think the one thing that I would add, if anything, that's kind of a little different is that while I'm never going to advocate for working long hours, you know, I feel some type of way about it. But at the same time, like I'm more of like I'm going to stay in my own lane. And, you know, if people want to go out and work whatever they want to work, I mean, I feel like it's not my right personally to tell somebody how to live their life or how to operate, you know, their business or whatever they're doing. I feel like it would be crazy of me to say, hey, you know, I know that I have no control over your life, but, you know, you can't work this many hours because I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, because in the end of the day, I don't know what their financial situation is. I don't know what their home situation is. So it's like, just like I wouldn't want somebody to tell me that I have to work a bunch of hours, I don't want to tell somebody that they can't. You know what I mean? Like, But I get what you're saying. I'm not going to advocate for it. I don't believe in it, but I respect it. You know.
Yeah. Well, people,
You
you
know.
know, sometimes it's about we might know, but we might be, you know, bagging on somebody that works 7 days a week. Let's say they work 8 hours, whatever. You know, it's like they got to work 7 days. That's crazy. You know, I might not know that person might be only doing it 6 months, and then they're done. Now, like, beach because they're 50s and they just need a little cash to get to the beach. Like, so there's a lot of different things we might not know. Assuming. But I will say, I think the more, like Marcus Roy, and I'll piggyback on, the more we drive, the more risk we are putting ourselves in. That's just a fact. There's not, you know, really a data thing. Like the driving is dangerous. The more we're putting ourselves at risk. And I think that's a fair thing to say. Not a
Right.
It's a matter of.
Am I the only one hearing this?
Is it me cutting out or is it him?
Yeah,
it's
you're
Yeah, I think
glitching.
it's coming out too.
Pedro,
Bro, I think
Yeah,
you're
you
fading
cutting
away.
out. So
I think you're starting to fade away.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'm.
your audio's cutting out.
yeah.
I think it's Bobby. Since Bobby is
No, it's Pedro.
No.
no, it's Pedro. When you're talking, we don't hear anything.
It's all choppy.
Chop it. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you're good now.
That's weird. Okay, what I said.
No, it's still doing it.
It's your battery now?
You're cutting out a lot.
Oh,
Yeah, now
man,
I
this is
can't
funny.
even hear you.
That's weird. 'Cause I look
It's
like.
okay now.
Pedro.
It's okay now, no?
It's his apps trying to keep him from talking anymore. He's like,
What I'm gonna do.
DoorDash is
Pedro
silent
needs a
for you.
recharge. Pedro needs a recharge.
Go give me a few.
Oh, I thought he said something else, bro.
Crazy. I'll blame Bob.
Technical difficulties, huh?
It's Bobby's fault.
That's all right. You've been blaming me for 2 years, so I can keep it up. It's fine.
Damn it, Bobby.
Well,
It's all good, man.
if you can't hear me, I think what I'll do is I think this might be a good time I'll just start ending the live, doing a little. So Marcus, Roy, you guys just want to go around, give some final thoughts, and then we'll kind of put this to the end. Hopefully you guys heard.
Okay. I'll just like to end this by saying, you know, Roy, I appreciate the vulnerability you showed today. This is a great conversation. And again, in no way, shape, or form am I putting anybody down for working your hours. I was just giving a perspective of just, like say, some of the risk involved. Again, I pray for everybody. I don't want nobody to be out here, you know, getting no accident, no type of issues or nothing. That wasn't what this live was for, to highlight, you know, morbid situations or whatever. But like Roy said too, you know, I just had to start valuing myself and start paying a little bit more attention to my everyday life and not chasing this damn thing and this, you know, this bells and whistles, this damn thing going off, and start kind of, you know, being more conscious of the fact that like maybe I should stop and look around sometimes instead of always worry about this goddamn app going off. That's all. So.
yeah, same thing. Like I say, I don't hate nobody. I don't, you know, like I say, I will bust your balls and do shit like that. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. But I also wanted people to get the realization that there is a life out there besides that phone and working and sitting on your ass, you know, 16 hours a day. And it's up to you to think of that. A lot of people, like we said, don't have these conversations on YouTube. It's always here. Watch how to make more money. Watch how to make more money. Nobody wants to show you what it's like to live a life. And other than what they see on DoorDash or what they see on their phone. So it's more hopefully just kind of a wake up call that you guys maybe can, when you go to bed tonight or you wake up in the morning, and gives you an opportunity when you're drinking your coffee, whatever you're fucking doing, to think, all right, what am I doing with my life? Is 7 days a week worth it? Am I losing out? What am I losing out on by working 7 days a week, 18 hours a day? What am I losing out on? You know, and a lot of people don't take the time to see what they're losing out on because they're too busy chasing that $5.
Yeah.
It's always that extra $5. They don't take the time to see what am I losing for $5? Am I losing time with my kids for $5? Am I losing time with my wife for $5? Am I losing time just to myself for $5? You know what I'm saying? Because without a good, if you can't love yourself first, who can you love? And if you're loving that app more than you're loving yourself because you think $5 is more important, then it's time to wake up and realize there's got to be something else going on. And that's all. I'm glad Marcus brought this up, because this is the one thing. Like I said on my channel, I don't want to hear about DoorDash all the time. We'll talk about it a little bit, but I want to know the life of the people that are in my channel. I greet people. I want to know your life. I don't care. You can come in.
Oh, you got out.
Because I wanted to go to the park and feed the dogs. I'd be all kinds of fun with that shit. But that's the thing. It's just a way. It kind of gives you guys an idea to really think. What am I losing for my $5? Every time you go to get chased that $5, every hour you're on that app, what am I losing for that hour of time that I could be doing something else that may make my life a little bit happier and better? That's all it boils down to at the end of the day, really. So.
Well, that's exactly why I joined the live. Like, I follow Pedro for a couple of times, and I love all his content and everything. And one of my friends showed me on Messenger, said, "Come, we are already talking on private about this." Like, I'm taking 2 days off. I'm working 5 days a week on bike in Canada. And like, I all know my friends working like 7 days a week. And I'm like, guys, what the fuck? Take 1 day off, take 2 days off. No, I can't. I have some bills to pay. Me, I said, fuck off. I have some bills to pay, I know, but I don't care. I take 2 days off and I take it. I don't care. Like, people said, oh, but you're going to lose money. I don't care. I'm going to take those 2 days because I know I need it. Because I need some time off. Like, sometime I did some 24 hours shift on bike. And people told me, you're fucking crazy. 24 hours on bike. I said, I don't have choice. I have bills to pay. So that's the thing. Like, people need to understand, like, okay, yes, we have bills to pay, but we have life. Like, we have life. And like, every time people said, oh, you're single, I said, yeah, I don't have time for girls. I'm working too much. I don't have time for this.
Well, I would say one thing, Jonathan. If you have to work 7 days a week to pay your bills, you need to find a new source of income, brother.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm just saying, bro, if it takes you 7 days.
No, that's why I said I'm working 4 or 5 days a week because I can't. But I have friends working 7 days a week all the time. And I'm like.
And he faced the one thing I was telling you about. His friends put him down for it. He's looking out for his own mental health by, is it better to work 7 days a week and go fucking nuts, or is it better to take work 5 days, and because you can always add hours to a shift in a 5 day shift. Yeah. You work 8 hours, add a couple hours. That you can add a day through 5 days a week just by adding a couple hours every day. So yeah, but you see the mentality, and that's the mentality of a lot of people on YouTube and content are, oh, they put you down because he wants to take 2 days off for his own mental health and to actually have a life. So he's dealt with that, just like a lot of us have dealt with it, because we don't want to do it 7 days a week. Oh, you're just a lazy ass. You just this. You have no motivation. Blah blah blah. No, I love my brain more than I do the dollar bill. And like the gig guy said in the middle, really, if you have to work that many days, maybe you need to check with a financial advisor to learn how to budget your money a little better, or find something that's key you can help supplement that you don't have to work 7 days a week, 18 hours every goddamn day.
I've been sick for 1 week. I did not work. And all my other workers, colleagues and friends I know, they're like, oh, you're going to lose money. But I'm sick. Oh, but you're going to lose money. I don't care. I'm sick. My doctor said to me, stay home. I fucking stay home.
Yep.
Like.
Yep. Hector, chime in. Some final thoughts, brother.
Hey, man, I'm so happy. Well, actually, I'm going to bring it up because you guys didn't do it. So I'm going to bring it up right before I leave. Bobby and Roy, you guys are a testament to this. One thing I think we didn't bring up about this whole gig situation, how we feel, is what we put in our bodies, my friend. You are what you eat. If you're going out every morning and you're eating McDonald's and a sausage egg McMuffin and all this trans fat and all this sugar, you're going to feel like shit for the rest of your day. You're going to be angry, you're going to be agitated, and you're going to feel really depressed. All that crap that you be putting in lunch, eating burgers, fries, is going to catch up to you. So I want to let y'all know, you are what you eat. If you're feeling a certain type of way, you don't have that sense of motivation, I'm going to tell you right now, change your diet. Do something different. I wake up every morning, you know what I have? I have a yogurt and I have oatmeal. Perfect start to my day. Cheap as hell too. I'm cutting my costs. I'll probably pay like $1 for my breakfast. You know what I mean? I have a salad and chicken.
So it's not expensive, yeah.
Yeah. So
And guys,
I mean, you know,
fine on bike. You're gonna lose weight. I lose 30 pounds just doing gig.
Yeah, and then another thing too, you gotta understand too. We sit a lot. A lot of our job requires us to sit a lot. We barely get up. We just get up to pick up food. You know, I know Bobby, he does the whole Instacart, so he has more time to move around. You got to understand, we sitting around, so you got to take care of your body, man. You got to start moving around, and you know, you got to start changing your diet. Your diet is a very big part of this, and you know, if you guys don't want to do the change, it's gonna catch up to you. And like Roy said, you know, he had health situations, and you know, thank God that he feels better. But he knows very well, Bobby knows this, and you know, Pedro knows this, I know this. Yo, you gotta eat really healthy, man. And it's the best way mentally, physically, and emotionally to take care of your body. So I'll leave it with that.
Good. The gig guy, you got 17 and a half seconds. Final thoughts. Go ahead.
Final thoughts is if you don't have a goal, you're not working towards something, figure out what that goal is. Come up with one, whether you want to start a business, you want to invest money, whatever it is, figure that out. Don't work these apps every single day. If you're trying to be independent, be independent. Don't do these programs that these apps are throwing out there. They're just trying to control you. And if you're going to do that, you might as well be an employee somewhere. And that's pretty much all I got.
Go. Bobby, you get 45 and a half seconds, my friend. Go ahead. Final thoughts.
Yeah, well, I don't disagree with what everybody said, but I'm actually going to contradict what I just said and disagree. And I'm just going to say to everybody in the chat and everybody listening, I don't care if you work 10 hours. I don't care if you work 100 hours. Do whatever the hell you want, man. At the end of the day, it's all our opinions, and we aren't in your situation. So screw us and do your thing. Take care of you and your family. And don't worry about anything. People like Roy, he's going to bust your shit. And who cares, man? I've been hearing it for a long time. And I look him right in the eye and I say, hey, man, you know the 3 F's. I'm not going to say them up here, but you know what they are.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that matters.
Fair enough. Kevin, final thoughts from Kevin, my sergeant at arms of the BetonYou Army. You get to go last, my friend.
Don't sell yourself short. Remember, you're capable of a hell of a lot more than you think you can. And if you want something, go for it. Because it's not gonna just come walking up to you. You gotta go get it.
I love that. Gentlemen, Marcus especially, Roy, both of y'all, thank you very much for this topic. I'll talk to you guys.
Bro.
It was nice meeting you all.
I'm gonna tomorrow, but I appreciate y'all, all of y'all, Hector, Jonathan, the gig guy, Kevin, Bobby, Boots, my man Big Carl, all the guys. I probably missed a few people. Big Gig Bell Toes came up. Appreciate y'all very, very, very much. I'm gonna wrap the show up. I'll see you guys later.
All right, bro.
Peace out, guys.
Y'all take care. Have a good night, man.
All right. Now, before I end the show, some closing statements. Can you guys hear me? Can you put a thumbs up if you guys can hear me? I think we just had some frequency. Who knows what happened? But if you can thumbs up the chat that you can hear me, then I'll give some final thoughts of tonight's topic. This is fine. It says thumbs up. Okay. Anybody else? Jim, thank you. Formless content. All right. Kevin, thank you. Good show, guys. Great show. Do we solve anybody's problems? No. Do we make anybody more money? No. But we had a real conversation that we've had on this channel a little bit here and there, but not this extensive. Not for a whole 2.5 hour live or 3 hours or whatever. We haven't. But when Marcus called me 10 days ago or whenever it was and was telling me what he was thinking, and he's a fellow gig driver, and what he's been thinking about and what he sees and how he feels about it, I thought maybe let's just have him share. And I was like, oh, let's bring Roy in. And I knew we'd have some other good people, good gig workers and such that would come in and share their perspective and talk about how they feel about things, whether it's mental health or Hector bringing up some great points about your diet And I was going to mention it earlier, and I'm glad he did because I forgot about it. We touched on it a little bit, but like he brought it home. That's so big. And I'll share this. The reason I was going to bring it up is because I like to talk about, I share a lot with you guys. If anything, sometimes I probably lean on the side of oversharing, but I'm okay with that. This is a DoorDash channel, but it's a vlog style. I share a lot. I'm good with it. It's good for me, actually, too. I like to get the bad stuff and good stuff out. The good stuff so you could maybe absorb it and it could help. And the bad stuff because I don't want it to absorb me. So I want it to exit and maybe you can relate. Man, this last couple of weeks, I've been eating like shit. Now, I'm not somebody that eats really, really, really healthy, okay? I am somebody that was almost 2 years, I was vegetarian, not vegan, but I didn't eat any meat. I saw some benefits from it. I mostly did it because I wanted to not give myself something I wanted. It was a discipline thing. And then I was like, I don't need to do that anymore. I'll start eating meat again. Anyways, the last 2 weeks, I've eaten more fast food than what's normal for me. Now, we go out to eat a lot, but going out to eat doesn't mean fast food. If you know the food's being prepared and it's being grilled and it's whatever and it's actual food with ingredients, that's better than the fast food stuff. And I don't think that that's a coincidence that I became a little bit ill. What you put into your body is what you're going to, like, it has to come out at some point, and it'll come out good or bad. If you eat something good, it's going to come out as natural energy, positive vibes, good life, good body, right? If you put a lot of junk in your body, man, it will catch up to you at some point. So eating better is something I got to have more of a priority. Now, I'm not an old man, but I'm not a young man. And the quickest way to bad health and to lose years on your life is your eating. Because I don't smoke, right? And that's, you know, I don't do drugs so like the eating parts, that's a vice, man. And so, you know, really, really glad that we talked about that. I'm glad we have people on these panels that are different, that have different perspective, a different thought process. I think it's good. Nobody yelled. Nobody was yelling, screaming. Nobody got the feelings hurt. Like we talk. We just have a conversation. And the viewers, those of you watching, can take that and internalize and personalize that however you need it to be for you for that day. Right? And I'm sure there were a lot of people in the comments, great live, great live, great live. We accomplished something today. We had a few people said, I like this, good conversation. You know, so I definitely want to thank Marcus and Roy for that. And the panelists that came up. Thank you for watching. I'll be back at it tomorrow. I have obviously a little bit of a cough here, but trust me, I feel way better than I did. I don't have a fever anymore. I haven't had a fever, but it was mostly just energy. But I'll be back hitting the streets tomorrow. I'll be working. I'll be working this week as I cough. Good Lord. Because next week, I will be in downtown LA for an event called Herbivore. I'm actually going to pin something in the chat for you guys real quick. Paris, I don't know who you are, but you're a really good troll. I'm assuming you're a troll. You've been saying, I have no idea who you are. So I'm sorry. I don't hate you because I don't know who you are. But I appreciate you being here. I'm going to pin this link. I'll be in a Herbivore event, downtown LA. I'll be in LA March 28th through the 30th. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 3 days. The event's on the 29th, which is a Friday all-day event. There's a little teaser event that Thursday. It's Herbivore. It's a cool event. Free food, free drinks, and at the Thursday, both events. For Friday event, I can speak. There's free food. It's free. And then there's cocktails if you choose, coffee, non-alcoholic beverages. And then there's usually like an event after the main event as well, Friday night. There's a happy hour there. So tickets are $5. You get swag. I'll be part of a driver meetup hosted by Solo. There's going to be other great content creators there. I'll share a few names now. Why not? To the special 183, you get some exclusive content. Nobody else has shared these names. I'll share them because like I know that they're going to be there, right? So let me do this first though. Hold on. But if you're in the downtown LA area, you definitely want to come to the Friday event. and it's really fun. I went last year and had a fantastic time. So I was like, I'm definitely going back. If they do it again, they're doing it again. So I'm going to be in attendance. So if you want to chop it up and talk about whatever, life, DoorDash, I'm going to be there all day long. So, and along with some other great people. So let me, oh crap, hold on. I ain't using this phone because it's like, okay, so let me copy this. Okay. I'm going to put it in the chat for you guys. So you guys can go check out the information. Let me go here. Good Lord. The reason I'm mentioning this is I want to be hustling this week because next week I'm only going to work like 2 days. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this for you guys. Paste it. Boop, boop. That's how you can get a $5 ticket. Just click the link. It's very easy to follow. Replace pin message. Bam, bam. I'll share with you some of the people that I know are going to be there, and there might be others, and there's going to be a lot of other just drivers, and there's companies and all that stuff. It's going to be a lot of cool swag. All right. Did I pin it? I did pin it. Okay. Let's see. Is it there? Okay. I think it's there. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Okay. Okay. So if you, my man Hannibal Sungy is going to be there, which is going to be, I'm just happy that we're just going to hang out and do our thing, right? Bentley DoorDash Diaries is going to be there. He's already announced it on his channel. I'm not sharing anything that's not public knowledge. So Hannibal's hungry. Bentley, Louis Bertie from Delivery TV, Rideshare Rodeo. I believe Zach and Kim, because there's a podcast in town, are going to be there. That's what I heard. Sergio from the Rideshare Guy. Torsten from the Rideshare Professor. There's one other person that I'm. It's late. My mind is blank right now, and I can't think of who it is. But and then many are. Harry Campbell will be there. He's the showrunner of the Rideshare Guy. So it'll be cool. It'll be fun. It'll be a good event. If you're in downtown LA, I mean, I met a lot of people for the first time last year. It was a fun time. The weather was great. These events are hosted in like a parking lot setting, but there's like a lot going on. These Curb War events are really, really fun. So, yeah, dedicated to my children's future. Yeah, if you want to meet him, cool guy. I've met him in Denver. He's going to be there. So, looking forward to hanging out with him again. So, tonight was a good night, good conversation. We didn't change the world, but we just talked about some real shit. And I think every once in a while you got to do that. And I think that's okay, because at the end of the day, we're more than just DoorDash drivers. We're men, we're women, we're fathers, we're husbands, wives, we're providers, and we're just trying to make the best decisions we can for ourselves and or our families. And doing it isn't always the funnest of things to do in the gig economy, right? There's it's a roller coaster. But like I always say, we can control a lot more than we think we can, right? These companies will do a lot of weird things. I don't always like them, but I know I can move within them and still achieve the monetary and the time goals that I have within the gig economy, and then still create content and still spend time with my girls, which is the number one. Time is the thing. Time is my most valuable thing. I can't get back time, right? So for me, that's why I actively choose to not work weekends. I could make more money. I could put more in saving. I could have more for investments. I could do that. But for me, how I'm ready and preparing myself is, I want my future to be better, because I want my daughter to know I'm more around, and I don't want to miss anything. And I want her to know, and I want my girl to know, and my family to know, if they ever need anything, I got their back always. And they know that now. I couldn't say that 20 years ago, 10 years ago. I couldn't say that. And they didn't feel that. But now, because of how I have my work-life balance, how I use the gig economy, and how I don't allow it to use me, how I don't chase the money, right? I situationally chase it. I don't chase it and make it the most important thing. Time is the most important thing. My relationships, that makes me good. That's how I'm preparing myself. So that in 20 years, when I'm 62, right? When I'm 62 and my daughter's 22, right? And my other daughter will be 43 by then, or 40, whatever. I want them to feel good about what their father's done and secure, and know that I was there for important moments. And my nieces and nephews to feel that way. That's how I'm preparing my future, because I want to have that feeling when I'm in my 60s, 70s, and 80s. That is my legacy. That I don't want extra money in the bank account necessarily, right? That's not what's important to me. I'm not led, and I'm not money motivated. I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by moments I haven't had yet. And I want to build great moments I haven't even had yet. And the only way I can do that is by being the best version of myself, having great balance, making an appropriate amount of money, making it smarter, not harder, which I always try to talk about. And if you do this, it's a little easier to be smarter, not harder. I'm not the dude that's gonna, no, that's just not me. I want my moments later to be more beneficial. And I know and trust that they will be more beneficial if I'm more present now when I need to be. And I have a good balance and a good schedule and weekends. That's me. You make it work for you. But I'm glad we had this conversation tonight. I've rambled way too much, but I didn't talk that much tonight. I like to listen. These other gentlemen did a great job talking and things like that. So I'll get my little talking in at the end, so it's all good. Man, now you're making us sound old. Yeah. I wouldn't waste my time making waves here. Juice ain't worth the squeezing. I don't know what that means, but all right. You should tell everyone about screen cuts before you go. For those who missed it last week, it's pretty awesome. Oh, thanks, Todd. Yeah, if you go to my community page, there's from 2 or 3 days ago, from Wednesday, I believe. No, Thursday. There's a screen cuts link. Check it out for sure. Go back and look at any comments. There's a great panel. Thank you. Most people don't consider a diet when they are on the road. It seems Scorpion, it's harder to because you want to get something quick, right? So, Valaya, appreciate you so much. Diet is so big. Yeah, man, we should probably do a whole live on that. Good gal, real quick. I wanna call you tomorrow to do a test run for Wednesday if you're still able to do Wednesday. So if you're cool with it, I'd like to just chop it up with you, do a little test run on the live, right? The duo, test it, but not do it like publicly. If that makes sense, and we can just work out the kinks and just see if it works, and then figure out Wednesday. So I'll hit you up. Thank you, Helen. How? Thank you, man. Now you. So let me see if she sees that. If not, I was gonna call her anyway. So, yeah, we can. Cool. Okay, I'll give you a call tomorrow. Like, I'll text you, and then we'll connect. So, glad that you're still here. Appreciate you for watching and all your insights tonight. Grace Kelly, appreciate you. Gypsy, Paris, dedicated. This is fine. All the people in the chat. I'm hungry, and I'm gonna go get something to eat. I shouldn't eat this late, but I gotta eat something. Y'all have a good night. Tammy, appreciate you. And if you're driving, please be safe. And if you're in a room with somebody that you love, your husband, your girlfriend, your wife, your mom, your kid, give them a hug. Tell them you love them. It's an easy thing. Sometimes that can change somebody's day. See you guys tomorrow.